Hello? Oh, that doesn't look right, does it? Oh, Jesus. Hold on. Oh, God. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm just waiting for Peter to figure out Discord, because he's a boomer. How are you all doing? I'm probably going to have to use something else again, because he apparently doesn't understand how to join Discord. I'm going to have to fix all the layout stuff, too. I apologize. But I didn't want you just sitting listening to silence. I know you can't see me. Peter. Peter has discovered a global conspiracy. He's one of the most intelligent people on the planet. But he can't understand how to join a Discord chat. I sent him an invite link. He said it didn't do anything. Which I kind of don't believe. I don't know if he thinks it, like, and he did this last time, too. I don't know if it's some stupid, like... I don't know if he, like, I shouldn't say read a book. I don't think he read a book. I'm kind of concerned that he... Oh, he's in the waiting room! He did it! Yes! Peter, yes! Okay, I'm gonna have him join. Ready, everyone? One sec. He figured it out. Good job, Peter. 1 second. Hello?
Hey, Hannah. Are we
Hi.
live yet, or?
We are. I started it just a second ago while I was waiting for you, so people can hear.
All right. When are the video streams gonna come up?
1 second. I'm turning my camera on.
Okay, I think I have mine on.
I don't see you.
Let's try again. You can't stream into this channel. Hmm. When I try clicking on the video thing, it says you can't stream into this channel.
That's strange. Hold on. Let me see if I have to change your role or something. What if... Do I have to give them a role? Is anyone who's a mod in the Discord? How do I give permissions? I don't ever use Discord. I'm asking chat. I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's what chat's for.
Yeah.
Did you dress up for me, Hannah?
Of course I do, Peter. I gotta look nice for you.
You look great. You look great.
Thank you. Yeah, give him a roll and see if that works. Bellum.
OBS virtual kind of preview camera. Turn on camera.
Yeah, I just wanted to use this because I should be able to share videos and stuff with you, so if I have something I want to show you, or if you have something you want to show me, we'll be able to do that easily.
That's a great idea. I appreciate it, because last time I tried recording our talk, and I mega failed. So if you could send me this afterward, I'd love it.
Okay.
You could do that, so
sure.
That makes it easy. It says OBS virtual camera is one of my options. Should I try that?
No. No, you should be able to select whatever your camera normally is. Like if you have
integrated camera.
Yeah.
All right. Well, not available yet. I'll let you know when it is. I'll click on it.
Did you get a chance to do that, Bellum? I'm sorry, everyone. I know this beginning part's going to be boring. He has the role that allows video chat now? Okay, give it a shot.
All right. Let's see here. Nope. No change over here.
Maybe if you...
Should I exit and come back in, or?
Yeah, try that. If you have to go back into the waiting room, and I'll pull you back in.
So close the program or leave the waiting room?
Oh wait, he left the waiting. Okay, now he's back in. All right, what if you try it now?
I clicked on the button that says turn on camera.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to go into my Discord settings and set up the camera?
Maybe. You probably have to select a camera, yes.
Okay. User settings. Voice and video. All right. Video set integrating test video. Looks like my webcam's working. It's on integrated camera. Should work.
Strange. Yeah, if I have to, we can switch to a different program. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
All right, what did you want to use instead?
I'm okay. Whatever. We could do video like Google Hangouts or Zoom.
Okay, I'll send you a Zoom link on email.
All right, I'll open it.
That's always annoying. Sorry, everyone. I promise the conversation will be interesting once we actually get to it. I just gotta sign into Zoom. I'm way too zoomed in. I don't like that. Hold on, I need to add him to the call. Invite. Email. Peter. There's a link. Hopefully he'll join here in a sec. We're on a level 4, working on a level 4 hype train, by the way. Thank you, everyone who's doing bits and stuff. I'm just very busy, so I'm not getting to them yet. If this doesn't work, we'll just do a Google Hangout like we did last time, and it'll hopefully be quick. Oh, good. You can share screen on Zoom, too. Ayo! Hold on, let me figure out a way to get us both. There we go.
Can you see me?
I can, Peter. I can
Great.
see you.
We can start. We can start.
Okay, I think we can share screen with each other on this too, so that's...
Oh my gosh! I think you're in the real White House.
I
Holy
know,
smokes.
right? Actually, no. This is. I'm at Castle Rock Studios. This is.
Oh, there you go.
It's very.
You're a believer
very
now. I convinced
close.
you.
Okay.
I can see the truck behind,
Yeah,
where the road isn't.
There's actually it looks like there's a play set or something.
Oh,
behind
if
this
it's a
one.
playset, then it's a fake. Definitely Castle Rock.
Yeah. Hi, Peter. How have you been?
I'm good. I'm good. A little sleep deprived, but actually, I was looking forward to talking to you because I really do enjoy talking to you.
I enjoy talking to you as well, Peter. So yeah, your wife had your newest kid a couple days ago. How's that going? You guys doing well? Is she doing okay?
Yeah. Healthy birth. Everything's going good. Are you streaming on Twitch by any chance?
I am. Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll look that up. I want to see what they're saying in the comments too. But yeah, everything's good.
Chat, be nice to Peter, okay?
No, honestly, I don't care about this chat, but like the comments sometimes on my videos, I'm like, Hannah doesn't hate me. Why do you guys throw me so much hate? I genuinely, for the people who are listening, I like Hannah. I like her videos. She's one of my favorite Democrats. I have nothing against her. I think Hannah is a genuinely good person. And we're not enemies, and we disagree on some things, but we're not enemies. So there's no reason for my people or your people to, hate on each other. We just disagree on stuff.
Yeah. 1 second, I'm just giving you I think I have to give you permissions to share screen, so I'm going to do that right now in case you'd like to share anything. 1 second.
It's okay. I think your audience would like it. I have a crazy theory about you.
I can't, Peter, I can't hear you very well away from the microphone, so I can't understand what you're saying.
There we go. Oh, that didn't work. That was fine.
Alright, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I have an interesting theory about you.
You do? Okay, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I think you're gonna like it. Just gotta open up the comment section first to see what they think of my theory.
Oh god, okay. This should be interesting.
Yeah, I think you're gonna think it's crazy, but I think there's like a 90% chance it's gonna happen.
Have you figured out I'm a reptilian? Because that one's definitely true.
I considered it, but no, I don't think a reptilian would mess with me like this.
Really?
But,
how would a reptilian mess with you? Just out of curiosity. Because you said not like this, meaning they might mess with you, but just not in this modality.
Maybe that way?
What?
You didn't watch my alien video? Come on, Hannah. Your job is to watch all my videos.
I know. I watched all your videos. I just don't... Which one are you talking about? I know you talked about aliens, and you talked about Trump being an alien puppet.
Yeah.
Which, well, I'm sure we'll talk about, but...
There we go. Twitch, Hannah. So, my theory about you... Oops. Oh, we gotta mute this. Oh, no. Can you hear that?
No?
Mute. All right, there we go. So, my theory about you, Hannah, is you're going to join me on the right side.
Really? Okay, so your theory is you're going to be so convincing that I decide that, in fact, yes, aliens are controlling Earth and are helping Trump return to the presidency.
I think so much of what I'm saying is going to turn out to be correct that eventually you're going to be like, oh my gosh, guys, this guy I used to make fun of, I'm actually going to start making videos about how awesome he is and how correct he is and how wrong I was. I have a theory that might happen.
And what if the opposite happens? What if none of the things you're predicting or Mike Lindell is predicting come true in the next year? Are you going to start making videos about how I'm correct?
If that's the case, I will.
You will? Okay, what's the date on this? Because I think we already had the last time we talked, some sort of wager where you have to buy me one of those sweet bullet crowns if something doesn't happen by such and such date. I don't remember what the date was. It might have already gone by. I don't know. The goalposts keep moving. It's hard to keep track of.
We have to rewatch our chat and find out what the deal is. But we can make another deal. Like, if Biden does his full term, then you got to dare me to do whatever you want. And if Biden doesn't serve his full term, the Biden and Harris, because we all know Biden's.
I was gonna say Biden Harris because Biden's old as shit. He could die any day.
Yeah. So you admit that his mental health isn't like as good as Harris. Like Kamala Harris, she's very sharp.
I think both him and Trump are too old and shouldn't be the president.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would prefer to have a younger president. Like, but you know what? I was a Bernie bro. I voted for Bernie.
You did. Oh, that's
actually
sad.
I wanted to talk to you about socialism because I think we may have a lot more in common when it comes to socialism than actually disagree, depending on how you define socialism. Because there's a lot about socialism that I like.
Okay.
I'm not sure how you define it. I was like blasting you, attacking you for liking it, and then I was looking back, I was like, I actually like a lot of socialist ideas.
Sure.
So maybe we're on the same page.
On the whole, I think people should have access to healthcare that they need, and not have to like go bankrupt because of it. Medical bankruptcies in this country are out of control. So I'm in favor of like universal healthcare, stuff like that. Although we're going to differ on that. You think...
No, I agree.
No. I just think, I think medicine is medicine, and you think weed is all medicine. You think weed cures everything.
Well, there you go. To be specific, it cures all diseases, but it won't solve a health problem.
See, that's the thing, though. It doesn't, though. It doesn't cure all diseases.
We'll find out. The truth comes out eventually.
What about all the people who like have cancer or whatever who smoke weed for it you can, and they die anyway?
Great question. So, I say cannabis can cure diseases based on a specific thing called the Rick Simpson protocol, which some of your viewers might know. It's a protocol where you eat organic cannabis. It doesn't have to be organic, but ideally organic cannabis, concentrate, over a large amounts over a short period of time. And if you do that, you can cure diseases. I'm talking about like 1 to 3 pounds or 100 to 150 grams of decarboxylated cannabis, like a gram or a gram and a half a day for like 3 months. Okay. If you're smoking, you're destroying most of the medicine. So that's not enough medicine to cure a disease. But if you're bombarding your body with medicines, now that's totally different than smoking. Smoking will never cure anything. It'll help with symptoms maybe, but it won't cure anything.
What data do you have that leads you to believe that this protocol will cure any disease? Because there's no evidence to that effect.
Google Rick Simpson and all the people who have been cured of cancer with Rick Simpson oil. I'm sure your viewers have heard of
correlation isn't causation, though. That's why we have like studies that get done and things get approved by the FDA.
Why would pharmaceutical industry spend, $1 billion doing a study to prove cannabis cures cancer and then bankrupt an industry that's worth $1 trillion annually worldwide? You could
literally say that about any medicine for anything then.
Well, that's the thing. The thing with cannabis is it's attacked and they say like, it gives you cancer and it makes you dumb and, lowers your testosterone and all these things because those things to an extent are evidenced, though. I don't think it necessarily makes you stupid, but it certainly, while you are high, you are impaired. Your reaction time is way down. Your critical thinking skills aren't as good. I know this. I've done the dank weed, Peter. Okay. So, here's the thing. on that, everything is not black and white with cannabis. For example, if you are taking more than you normally take, like you smoke a ton, yeah, for sure, there's like some type of hand-eye coordination goes down. You know, your language turns into food salad. You can't talk properly. Your memory's not that good. But if you build up a tolerance and then take the same amount you took yesterday, they actually did do a scientific study on this, at least with driving, and they found that as long as you have a tolerance and you didn't consume abnormally high amounts, your driving skills, for example, are actually good on cannabis. It's not bad at all. But
I can't agree with you. I don't think impaired driving is ever good. I would recommend you not drive while high, Peter. CBD is a different thing.
Late,
if you
too late.
Oh, that's, well, you're admitting to criminal acts on camera. I don't think that's the best idea.
I hope it's not public. Oh no. Are you gonna report me?
I'm not, but this is the internet, so
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. The point is,
have you ever driven while high with your children in the car?
that's classified information.
Oh,
Hanna.
okay. That's a yes. Great. We're gonna walk past that. Chat. Do with that
Yeah.
information what you will.
Anyway,
So,
go ahead.
no, go. You go. Go
Okay,
for it.
so let me tell you my conspiracy theory about you. And by the way, I have also a theory about my conspiracy theories. Maybe it's the cannabis, right?
I have a feeling it is a factor, probably.
I'm getting very paranoid, and I think there's a deep state cabal Illuminati that's currently trying to populate the world by 7 billion people.
Yeah, that's a conspiracy theory.
You think that could be the marijuana making me paranoid?
I think it's probably a factor.
What about you? You consume it, and you're not paranoid about any of these things. Why isn't it making you paranoid?
I'm on a pretty big break from it until I move, which is coming up here soon.
I feel bad for you.
But when I did do it regularly, sometimes it would lead to like anxiety and paranoia. That happens to some people, as I'm sure you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially if I overindulge. And if I was on it for long periods of time continually, like if I was doing it every day, it would certainly lead me to be more anxious and prone to paranoid thoughts, like hearing a police siren in the distance and being like, is that for me? Even if it doesn't really make logical sense, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that if you consume a certain amount of cannabis, especially with the THC, it can cause anxiety, paranoia. And I've seen people who, they get very high and then they're like, oh no, they're out to get me and stuff like that. Totally real. But on a serious note, cannabis does decalcify, especially if it's vaporized or eaten. It decalcifies your pineal gland.
Pineal gland. Also, you say pineal gland very strangely. I just want to point out it's usually pineal gland, I think.
I have a weird accent. You can correct me if you want.
Oh, it's fine.
I grew up in Panama, so
Gotcha.
Some people say my language and my accent is a little weird because I grew up speaking English and Spanish, so my English is like people call it juvenile English or something like that, or accent. But anyway, it decalcifies your pineal gland.
Source.
And in the process,
I would request why you believe that.
Okay, well, based on my research, it decalcifies your pineal gland, and then that increases your intuitive abilities, and then now you can see that these conspiracy theories are actually facts. So
okay, but again, that's a claim. I'm asking for a source, not a more elaborated claim. Why do you believe that that's the case?
The source game is going to get very boring. I'm going to say, here's my source, and you're going to say, that's fake news. And you'll say, here's my source, and I'm going to say, that's fake news. The source is just going to get boring.
I think it's important, though. If you're First of all, why would your pineal gland be calcified in the first place? What is calcifying your pineal gland? And what do you think the pineal gland does?
The deep state cabal has been attacking our pineal gland and calcifying it, and by pushing things that calcify it. For example, GMOs calcify it, sugar does, caffeine does, alcohol does. That's why these things are pushed so hard, because when you're calcified, now you're acting a little bit more robotic. Your intuition level goes down. You're more likely to trust government sources as being correct. But once you eat organic, I eat 100% organic diet. I try to stay away from sugar, but I'm addicted to it. And I, decalcify my pineal gland. And as a result, I can see through and that the authority figures are lying and stuff like that. Take, for example, the vaccine, right? They say, you got to take this vaccine because the coronavirus is so dangerous. But based on what I'm seeing, I'm gonna make a prediction that the vaccines are gonna kill hundreds of millions of people. And initially,
but
the
Peter,
vaccines.
I had the vaccine. I had it like a month and a half ago. I'm good.
And honestly, I was a little bit worried. Actually, I'm pretty worried about you, Hannah.
Well, I appreciate the concern.
No, and I'm not even joking. I am a little bit worried about you because I saw that you got the mark of the beast, and that's actually a pretty funny joke. And I was worried about you because I was like, oh no, if something happens to Hannah, I'll be pretty disappointed. But these vaccines are not as safe. They modify your DNA.
They don't though. That's not what they do. It's an mRNA vaccine. mRNA is not the same thing as DNA, right?
I do know that, but I do know it modifies your DNA. And
no, it doesn't. It does not change your DNA.
Did you hear about the spike proteins? Suddenly, there's been. I'll send you a link. The first autopsy was done of a vaccinated person. It found that there were spike proteins on almost every single organ in their body. And you don't listen to how many people are infertile? Vaccine.
Again, I saw the video where you made this claim, and it was literally based off a Telegram. Is the app you use called Telegram? I always forget. Is it Telegram or Telegram?
Correct.
Okay. Telegram. It was a post from Telegram and an image of someone saying they had a friend who claimed a thing. You understand that that's like a fourth-hand nonsense source, right?
I think that how you define a quality source is different than how I'm going to define it. For example,
how do you define a quality source? How do you look? How do you determine when you look at a source whether or not it's trustworthy?
For me, I define a quality source as someone who has been vetted very carefully by me. In the case of Majestic 12, I read all 14,000 tweets by Majestic 12. So when they say that cannabis decalcifies my pineal gland, if that's my source for that example, I believe them. They're a vetted source. I put 2 years into vetting Majestic 12 is real.
By vetting, you mean they say things you agree with, and therefore you've determined that they're trustworthy because they say things that make you feel good.
More like they've been able to predict the future, and they've also...
What have they predicted?
Well, one of the things they predicted is that they were going to, on the July 4th flyover that Trump did with all those stuff, they said, we're going to fly over in our spaceships. Because remember, Majestic 12, if your viewers don't know, they're interdimensional aliens.
Oh, they're interdimensional. See, we watched the video about the aliens, but I didn't say interdimensional. I thought they were extraterrestrial,
it's very important.
Not extra-dimensional. Okay.
Yeah, interdimensional.
Are they from the 5th or the 6th, or even, are we talking higher? Are they from, like, the 12th dimension?
I'm not sure. I think it might be the 7th, but what interdimensional alien
That's a good
means,
one. The 7th one is like the best one. So
is that your favorite one?
Yep.
Interdimensional alien means that they can enter a human body that already has a host, or they can enter their own body, or do both at the same time. So they are above body. They don't need a body, but they could enter a body if needed. And so Majestic 12 is a group of interdimensional aliens that are working with Trump. And to answer your thing about Trump being an alien puppet, I didn't watch that video yet, but I hope you clarify that my theory, it's not really a theory, it's a fact, is that he is being puppeted by interdimensional aliens, but Trump's not an alien that I know of. Who knows? I know you
didn't claim Trump himself as an alien. He's working with the alien. You probably think it because the thumbnail with him is the alien. That was just like... It's just a thumbnail thing. It's just
for sure.
In the video, I do not claim that you think Trump is an alien because, to my knowledge, that's not what you claim.
I appreciate it. You got to get my crazy conspiracy theories accurately. So I can make 6 predictions for you that if once your audience sees how many of these turn out to be correct, they might actually join my channel and enjoy the content. I think you might be turned around as well.
Okay.
Prediction number 1. Hundreds of millions of people are going to regret getting the vaccine. Prediction number 1.
Okay.
Hundreds of millions of people will die from the vaccines. Number 2. It's already coming out that the coronavirus, there actually is no evidence that it exists. This isn't, it's coming out.
No. That's untrue. Let me clarify. I have to clarify this for YouTube, for the record.
Go ahead.
Because.
Go ahead.
That's untrue. That's an untrue statement. I do not endorse that statement. The coronavirus is real. Okay. Yes. Go get vaccinated, please.
Yes. I don't want to mess you up on your YouTube channel.
For the record, that's also what I believe. But
I know.
Yeah, I gotta preempt
for
you.
Sure.
Sorry.
No, clarified, so you don't have to mess up with all the editing. I think if there's a back and forth, then it's okay on YouTube. But the CDC, they asked, some people are suing the CDC and saying, we're going to sue you. We're suing you right now. You better provide evidence that COVID exists. And they're saying we've never isolated using the gold standard.
They have isolated the coronavirus, and anyone can sue anyone for anything.
All right. Well, right now the CDC has been sued because all these viruses, the H1N1, the Zika virus, all these scares, none of them have been actually isolated. They never
That's false.
Been proven
you are
to
wrong.
exist.
You are wrong.
I understand you believe that. But it's going to come out. That's my third prediction. It's going to come out that it was all fear. It never existed. And all these deaths were flu deaths. And also, like, for example, with the hospitals, you have people who died from a heart attack, and then the hospital says, oh, they died from the coronavirus because they were faint of breath, and that's a coronavirus
That's
symptom.
untrue.
Result,
do you understand the concept of comorbidity?
Go ahead and explain it. I'd love to hear
so you don't know what comorbidity is. So a comorbidity factor means you can have one pre-existing condition or multiple pre-existing conditions, and then a new factor comes in and causes your death in combination with the comorbidity factor. So let's say you have asthma, and then you catch coronavirus, which already deals with your lungs. You are already at a disadvantage because you had lung issues in the first place, so it affects you more. The coronavirus is still the cause of death, along with the comorbidity of your previous lung issues. This is why it's so bad on the elderly, because the elderly have a lot of comorbidities. Their bodies are in worse shape in general.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. I completely agree with you, but my point I'm making is that hospitals, the way that these coronavirus bills were set up, they were getting paid to say this person died from the coronavirus. I think it was like $8,000 if they died of the coronavirus.
Listen,
and these hospitals are going bankrupt because a lot of them. Hold on, let me finish. I know you disagree with me, but the way that these coronavirus bills were set up was, if you put someone on a ventilator, you would get the hospital would get $40,000, I think, per person. And then if they
That's
died
absolutely
of the coronavirus,
untrue. Do you have a source for that claim?
Just look at the bill. There's all these.
Show me the bill. You're the one
Elon
making
Musk.
the claim. You can't just say stuff and then be like, go do your own research. Back up your own claim.
Go listen to the Joe Rogan talk with Elon Musk, and he talks all about it. All right, but either way, look. The source stuff is going to get really
I actually have a stoner bro that lives down the street from me. I could probably just go talk to him, and he'd have as much validity as Joe fucking Rogan.
Anyway, I think Joe Rogan's pretty smart, but Elon Musk was explain to him how the hospitals, and if your viewers do researching it, hospitals do get paid for saying someone died from the coronavirus. And so as a result, all these deaths are flu deaths or coronavirus deaths, but it's actually someone dying from a heart attack. Like the other day,
so why are the death counts so much higher in 2020 and 2021 than they are in a typical year? Because if you look at the average deaths in a year, comparatively, we have however many extra deaths that are roughly the same number as the number of coronavirus deaths. It's not like we have the same number of deaths that we normally have, and some are getting ascribed. We have extra. We have like over 500,000 extra deaths than we normally have.
Well, initially for several months, the CDC was the information they're putting out actually proved that there was no increase. Actually, there was a decrease in deaths overall in the United States of all causes. And then when that was pointed out and everyone's like, ha, 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 see, that would
probably happen over the first month or so because people aren't driving around as much. A huge number of deaths in the United States are due to auto accidents and being outside the home.
This wasn't like a month in. This was like 8 months in when there were supposed to be like 300,000 deaths or something at that point. And basically, these deaths are all flu deaths or just
No, they're not, though.
Deaths.
Peter, they're not. And if my friend Randy is a doctor who works at a hospital. No, you're wrong.
We can agree to disagree with. Honestly, saying someone's a doctor to me is like, oh God, that's like one of the least trustworthy people. I have no trust in doctors. I know your viewers do, but I'm like, hell no.
You trust people like pillow salesmen. That's who you trust. By the way, how's Frank's speech going? I see.
Oh man, disaster!
I see what a great social media platform that no one can post to except for people he pre-approves.
Oh man, that is. I'm pretty upset with Mike Lindell. I kind of want to send my pillow back to him. But yeah, that was
if I can recommend, I got a purple pillow recently. Very
Oh,
good.
yeah?
I'd recommend it. And also, Purple Pillow has never been affiliated with trying to take over the United States government via insurrection attempt. So, I have a lot of positive things to say about the Purple Pillow.
Okay. All serious aside, is it actually a good pillow? Because the Mike Lindell one, I wasn't a big fan of it.
They're a little expensive. Like my pillow, not my pillow. The pillow I got, the Purple Pillow, was like $160, but it's a great pillow.
Holy moly! Yeah. My pillow is $30. Maybe I need to upgrade to something more.
That's probably why my pillow sucks dick.
Honestly, I wasn't very impressed with it. I know but I'm very sensitive to stuff like that. But let me continue with my predictions.
Sure.
What's going to happen is the audits are going to prove that Trump won by a landslide.
Wasn't the one supposed to be done on the 14th on Trump's birthday? What happened with that?
Great question. I misinterpreted. They finished counting, but that doesn't mean anything because now they have to recount, and then they have to do the forensic audit side of it, which means they have to check every crevice. They have to check the watermark. Did you know that there's watermarks on these ballots?
But there isn't, though. The state actually came out and said that's not a thing, and they shouldn't waste their time looking for it because it doesn't exist.
So why were they using blue lights on the forensic audit and checking everything under blue light?
Because cyber ninjas are idiots, and then the state had to come in and be like, hey, that's not a thing. Don't waste your time. There is no watermark.
Yeah, well, see, that's the propaganda machine. See, Trump put in the watermarks without the Democrats knowing.
But the federal government doesn't print the ballots. The states do.
One way or another, there was a bunch of fake ballots that China printed, but the ones that...
You know they were looking for, like, bamboo fibers on the papers?
I didn't hear about that.
Do you find that a little racist? Because I find that a little racist.
I don't know how that's racist, but they're bamboo. Why? Because that's Asian? How is that racist?
Because they assume that if you printed ballots in China, they're going to have bamboo on them, because obviously all Chinese people walk around with loose bamboo in their pockets or something.
Okay. So the audit is going to prove that Joe Biden won by a landslide. Even people like you will be convinced.
You know what? Yes, Joe Biden did win by a landslide. I agree.
Oh, sorry. Did I say that? Trump won by a landslide. Oh, man. You messed me up, Hanna. I'm blaming that one on you.
Okay.
That Trump won by landslide, and then the military is going to come in, take over the government, and at some point this year,
you're
Trump
advocating for a violent military takeover of the country.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to talk to you about that because to be crystal clear, I like Democrats. I feel sorry
you
for
just
them,
want to kill
like
the
them.
ones you disagree with.
No. I personally don't want to harm anyone.
You want the military to come and do the dirty work for you because you're too much of a coward to actually attack people. Not that you should, but, like, you want to kill people. You just don't have the gumption to do it yourself.
Honestly, I'm a little bit of I don't think if someone came to my door and harmed my family, like, I would struggle to want to kill. I am not. If you read my book, Cannabis Paradise, you only read the most cringy, boring part that I'm embarrassed about. But if you read it, it's a book about peace and avoiding killing people. In the book, I was against the death penalty. But
so what happened?
Well, Trump came in and is like, dude, these people are trying to depopulate by 7 billion people. Let's put him in a military tribunal.
And you just believe him at face. First of all, Trump didn't say that. You're interpreting that from various QAnon Q sources.
Correct.
I know you don't like when people say QAnon, and I know they.
No,
don't
it's
like
okay. It's okay.
Colloquially, that's what it's called. So
yes. So yeah, here's where you and I agree. We're both good people. That's for sure. Okay. I'll let you speak on my behalf however you want. I think you're a good person, and I think when you find out that right now the cabal deep state is trying to kill over 7 billion people and reduce the population to 500 million, all those people who are trying to do it and that actually ended up killing hundreds of millions of people, you will want their go to a court and you'll want them to get the death sentence.
I don't believe in the death penalty, so no.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, I actually didn't believe in the death penalty until I found out that the purpose of the death penalty is that a lot of these evil people are possessed by demons. And in some cases, you can do certain things like pray or go to church, whatever, and you can
So you think that these people are demonically possessed and not in control of their own actions?
Yes.
So you want to punish them for the actions of demons that have possessed them?
Well, actually, it's a little more complicated than that. Some people are so possessed with demons, for example, Hillary Clinton, that
Let me guess,
there's
you think the only way to free them of their demon possession is to end their life?
Correct.
So
Absolutely. There
you
you
have
go,
tried to
Hannah.
come up with a way in your mind to not only justify the killing of people that you disagree with politically, but make you believe that you are doing them a favor by doing so. That is
Right.
an
Hold on.
amazing level of mental
Let's
gymnastics and
clarify.
quite frightening.
I personally don't want to kill anyone. I'm a pacifist.
You're a pacifist,
But
you just want the military to come in and kill people.
if the military comes in and it finds out through a legal court and everything's done fairly that these people were trying to kill billions of people,
Who
they
decides
committed
if it's
treason,
done fairly?
the military tribunals. A lot of this can be done in Guantanamo Bay, but even through courts that
Why do
obviously-
you trust the military to do this if they're willing to do a military coup? Why do you assume the military is righteous in this hypothetical scenario?
Listen, stealing the election is the coup. Trump's just putting himself back into
Why do you think
place
the
where-
election was stolen?
Well, you're gonna find out in the next few months. All you and your viewers
Tell
are
me
gonna find
now.
out with the audits.
Tell me now.
Are you worried about the audits at all? That's something I
No,
want to ask you.
I am not.
Okay, so what happens if all these audits come out and there's massive cheating and Team Trump won by landslide? How's that gonna make you feel?
If it was verified by outside sources that aren't QAnon hacks like cyber ninjas and the various people attached to that,
Like
cool.
95% of people believe it, and it's verified by tons of trustworthy people.
If it were
Obviously-
actually evidenced and I saw the evidence and agreed with it, then everyone involved would have to be criminally prosecuted, but you would need
There you
evidence
go.
of those things.
Okay, that's all I'm for. To be clear, I don't want to kill anyone, but I do think that if someone commits treason and they go through court and the court says this person committed treason, they need to get
I'm
the
pretty
death
sure
penalty.
treason requires working with a foreign enemy during wartime. I think you're thinking of some other
Well, they're working
crime.
with China to steal the election and
Why?
put
Why do you think
Chinese
that?
puppet in. That is actually treason. They are working with a foreign enemy, China.
Why,
Actually, a lot
why
of
do you
people-
think that?
Well, you just look at like Mike Lindell's, for example.
He's a pillow
proved
salesman. You're talking about
Yes.
a pillow salesman.
Who he has
A
$300
former
million.
drug addict pillow salesman.
Mhm. Look, Hannah, you're a great debater. I agree with you on a lot of things, but
I
just
am
let
a
me finish my
master
thought.
debater. I'll have you know that.
A master
I
debater?
master
A
debate
what?
all the time.
You are. I'll give you that. You are a good debater, but just let me finish my thought because you are a better debater than me, and you need to give me.
Well,
this
I gotta
edge.
check
Let me
your
finish
claims,
my thought.
otherwise you're gonna gish gallop me with a whole bunch of nonsense. I gotta make sure that we're breaking
well,
up your claims.
Let me explain my claim, and then you can destroy it. If you watched, for example, Michael Lindell's recent documentary called Absolutely 9-0, he proves after doing checking very carefully the Dominion machines that what happened was China and other countries actually switched votes to Biden.
They
and there
didn't
was-
know.
He proved it. If you watch the
He
documentary,
didn't know.
okay, well, that's the thing. It's all going to come out eventually. You know, my source is Mike Lindell, which you're, the pillow salesman.
Why
that
do you
sounds
trust
crazy.
him?
I didn't trust him until I saw what he was doing, and actually he's a good person. Majestic 12 was one of the people who pointed out that he is, in fact, confirmed a good guy. Because a lot
Why,
of people,
why do you believe this Majestic 12 account, by the way? Because I looked into it, and their
Okay.
Telegram, last I checked, and it's probably bigger by now, but only had like 9,000 something followers. They're not even a big presence on Telegram. Like Ghost Ezra, who I know you don't trust, has over 300,000, and this account only has like 9,000.
Correct,
So
correct.
why do you trust this Majestic 12 account, and why do you think they're the Men in Black?
not Men in Black. The Men in Black are either humans or alien human hybrids that are in bodies.
Okay,
Majestic
so
12
wait,
is-
you think that there are multiple alien organizations. Majestic 12 is all aliens, and then Men in Black also exists, and it is humans and human-alien hybrids.
Hannah, when you find out over the next 5 years how many aliens you are, we are alien hybrids. There's aliens living among us.
I'm an alien hybrid. That's cool.
The moon is an alien base. You're gonna find that out. Aliens are all over.
Are
it's
they
named
in the
single-
moon? Are they inside the moon, like at the Death Star?
Oh my God! The moon is a spaceship. If you
The
think about
moon's a spaceship.
Listen,
Wow.
listen, check this out. The moon, our satellite, is the only satellite ever discovered that doesn't rotate like this.
That's
It goes
actually
around Earth.
untrue. I talked about this in one of the videos because I watched that video. You're talking
Okay.
about tidal locking, and there are other planet moons and stuff that are tidally locked, the same as the moon.
Interesting. Well, send me that. From what I heard, there isn't. And also, because of the moon being so big and it's so close to Earth, if it wasn't some spaceship, it would be dragged in through Earth's gravity and
No, because
collide
it's in
with Earth.
orbit. It's
Okay.
in a stable orbit.
It's not in any stable orbit. It's being repelled
It
because it is a spaceship.
it's no.
Yeah,
No,
for
it's
sure.
not. Do you
And there's
understand? When you're
many.
in an orbit,
Mhm.
what that means is you're basically at a trajectory that you're falling towards a planet constantly, but you're moving fast enough laterally that you're missing it every time.
Great
That's what the
explanation.
that's what the moon
Great.
is doing.
Okay, great explanation. I agree with you, but if you look at other satellites, they're smaller and they're not as close
Okay,
as
but the
the
size
moon
is
is to Earth.
irrelevant as long as they can get enough velocity to continually miss the Earth, then they can
Hmm.
orbit. Like, we're also orbiting the sun, and we're all
Hmm.
bigger than satellites, you know?
Okay. Anyway, people can look this up. We can agree, disagree, but
We can
the
agree to disagree that the moon is a Death Star. I agree.
the aliens are everywhere, Hannah. Everywhere. I mean, honestly, if they're I wouldn't be surprised if they're abducting you because
What would they be
they're
abducting
everywhere.
me for?
You know what? I think we're in a gigantic alien experiment, and they're testing us spiritually, genetically, to see if they do this, that, what's going to happen. You very well could be. I think the United States is a big experiment. You can call it the experiment of democracy. You know, the different states, but the whole country and the states are different experiments, and you're an experiment right now. So on some level, aliens are messing with you, trying to get you to do certain things or see if we do this or that. If what's going to happen to Hannah? Is she going to evolve spiritually? What's going to happen? The aliens are everywhere. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm just ahead of my time. But to answer your question about Majestic 12, Majestic 12 had a Twitter account, which initially I joined them when they had like 6,000 followers. It blew up to like 40,000 followers, which isn't much, but they got like 36 or 40 million views. Their content is so out there that they don't actually get a big following. For example, saying that they're interdimensional aliens, a lot of people would be like, what? See ya, I'm not believing that. But me, I'm like, oh yeah, well, that's real. So of course, makes
Why
sense.
do you think interdimensional aliens are real?
Look, if you're abducted over and over again, you'll start doing research on aliens and be like, what the heck is going on? Why am I being abducted? And then you'll find out.
Peter, I listened to, and by the way, I want to be clear. I think you watch my content when I cover you, and I hope when I covered your video when you were talking about your various abduction experiences, I feel for you on that, because even though I don't think you've actually been abducted, I recognize that the trauma and the feelings you feel about it are very real. So let me be clear about that first.
For sure.
I
appreciate it.
I don't know if there are people in your life who are understanding about this, but I want you to know I am. Regardless of whether or not I think...
Appreciate it.
Regardless of whether or not I think it happened, I think you think it happened, and those experiences probably hurt you a lot and cause a lot of anxiety.
I appreciate it. That's why I like you, Hannah. That's why I like you. You have a heart.
Now, that being said, I do think you're having basically sleep paralysis, and I think that's what it is.
It could be. I'm 99% sure, but I could be. I've been wrong before. You yourself have proved me to be wrong before, so you never know. But
by the way,
aliens are everywhere.
The claim that you had about your previous child with the skin band-aid thing.
Yes. I wish I took more pictures. Go ahead.
That's something called a sacral dimple. It's a known medical thing. So I would recommend you Google sacral dimple and check and see if it's...
will.
Yeah, look right
Sacral
now
dimple.
and let me know if that's what it looked like. That way, that might make you feel better knowing it wasn't an alien. It's just a medical
You know
thing.
what? If that is really what it is, it would make me feel better, because I don't like the thought of thinking that my daughter was being messed with. Sacral dimple. I'll look that up. But I'm going to tell you right now, that's not what it was. No. This is totally different. See, let me explain exactly what happened with my daughter. She was born, and at first glance, there was nothing. But then over the course of 3 to 6 hours, this little, I call it skin band-aid. It looked like 3 printed skin that was pasted, slid off her back and off her, groin area near her leg, on her leg. It slid off and revealed a perfectly cut out circle, which was not infected.
Did you ask the doctors about this?
Yes, actually, it was examined by a doctor that was a skin professional, and he's like, "What the?"
At a hospital, like a real licensed doctor.
Yes. And he wanted to do a bunch of experiments. I was like, "Hell no! I already know what this is." But he said he had never seen it before. The doctor, the pediatrician I went, said she never seen it before. I looked it up. It was literally a cut out hole.
So you
with a
refused to
skin
get your
Band-Aid over
child
it.
that was newborn health care that could have you could have endangered their life.
Well, my pediatrician was pissed at me. That's what she said. She's like, "Oh, you want to heal this on your own? You're playing with fire." But I actually know a lot about health, so I was able to heal it by myself with
Did
just
you
sunlight.
put CBD oil on your baby?
I put a little bit of CBD medicine and I did sunlight and eventually closed up and healed. It was never infected. If it was seriously infected, I would have brought it to the hospital or taken it more seriously. But that's the weird thing. These things, they usually are red around them or infected. There's no such thing. You can look it up. Your audience can. I've never, and I'm sure your audience has never heard of anything ever where a person is born with 2 holes, perfectly cut out, not infected, baby is fully healthy, and they have printed their skin Band-Aids, little pieces of thin skin printed right over the hole.
This is
right
all the more
hole.
reason to listen to the doctor and get tests done. And this is what I don't get, because even if it was aliens, and I don't think it was, but even if it was, wouldn't you want a doctor to look at it to make sure the aliens didn't do anything fucked up, or to make sure that it's healing correctly?
Great question. In my opinion, if these were evil aliens, we would have been dead, or something really horrible would have happened. She would have been really hurt. So I think these were benevolent aliens who, on some level, someone agreed, maybe in another life, I agreed to let this happen to my daughter. Maybe she agreed. So I think these were good aliens, and I wasn't afraid of that they were trying to harm her. I think they just took skin samples, and they didn't want her to get infected, so they printed 3D skin and placed it over as a Band-Aid.
So they can do a skin Band-Aid, but it falls off after 6 hours.
Well, you want it to be on while the baby's inside, or else it could get infected, create problems. So once the baby is born, then it's okay for it to fall off because it's not in the amniotic fluid anymore. So it worked just as it needed to, in my opinion.
Can you look up spina bifida and let me know if it's that? Let me spell it for you. I'm trying to help you here, Peter. It's pronounced or it's spelled SPINA space BIFIDA.
I already found it.
Okay.
I'm looking at it now. Again, that's not it. It was a tiny hole. Spinal bifida is actually a big, looks like a big bump or something like that. I researched for hours and hours and days. I never found anything even close to it. A tiny little hole, not infected, perfectly cut out, that had a skin Band-Aid over it.
Okay.
There's nothing like that. I showed a picture of it in the thing. I should have taken more pictures. I was sleep deprived and dumb at the time, but crazy. Anyway, let's talk about something that your audience is a little more interested in.
Just real quick, I just gotta say, Peter, as much fun as I am having, if anything like this happens again, please, for the love of God, take your child to the hospital. Just for me, for your kid, okay? I'm serious. Like, that's medical neglect. You can't not get your kid looked at when they have health issues like that.
I understand. I think the medical industry, which is absolutely horrible, we pay more for healthcare than any other country, and we have some of the worst healthcare. Not to mention, it's the #1 reason for personal bankruptcy because our healthcare system sucks.
Yeah.
So these people brainwash you, doctors. Oh, if you don't go to the doctor, you don't get this checked out, it's neglect, it's abuse.
Okay, but it is. The doctor themselves are not the evil pharmaceutical company, whatever. Most doctors are people who, yes, want to make money, but they also are people who generally care about their patients, and you should listen to their advice.
I think that there's a lot of them that are bad, a lot of them are good, and most of them, 99% of them, that are brainwashed, thinking that pharmaceuticals can solve all these problems, et cetera, et cetera. But I actually, health is one of my passions, something I'm very knowledgeable. I consider myself a health expert. So when health problems up with my children, I solve it myself. None of my children or my wife has ever gone to a hospital since my family started. We're all perfectly healthy, and we get sick.
You've never taken any of your children to the doctor for a checkup or anything? You've never taken any of your children to the doctor?
I initially would go to a pediatrician, but I was getting horrible experiences. Like, one doctor was like attacking me for not getting vaccines, like yelling at me. And this other doctor, that's the last time I went. She was like, if you don't take him to the skin doctor because of this thing, I get it. She doesn't want to be sued. And she was generally concerned about my daughter. She's not evil. But she was like, you're playing with fire, and she was calling me and emailing me. She was generally concerned, but in my mind, it was like, back off. I told her sometimes to back off. I'm going to heal it on my own. So after that, no pediatricians, nothing. I've just been doing it by myself. But my family's very healthy. You don't have
How do you
to
know they're
go to the
healthy if they
doctor.
haven't been to the doctor?
Well, they get sick. The average child gets sick about 4 to 6 times a year. My children get sick twice a year. And other than that, they've had zero health problems, which is crazy.
Did your
It's
wife,
unheard of.
the recent birth, was that a home birth or did you go to a
Home
doctor?
birth, correct.
You
Yeah,
had
that
a
was a
home birth.
hmm
That's
But with
dangerous.
Well, it is, and the way that it works is that if the midwives see any danger at all, then they send you to the hospital. But they actually said the opposite. They said he's extremely healthy, the wife's doing extremely good. It was one of the easiest births they ever did, and everything went perfectly. Well, that's what happens when you're very healthy. Things go perfectly. You don't have health problems.
That's not really how things work, but okay. Let's move on from all this stuff.
Yeah, let's move on to something more interesting. Any of my conspiracy theories you want me to talk about? Do you want to hear why I trust Majestic 12?
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
crazy.
please.
Okay. They had a Twitter account that had they eventually had like 30 or 40,000 followers. I read all their tweets. There was like 13,150 of them. I've never done that for anyone. I've never read all their tweets before in order, but the information was extremely accurate. And a lot of it was stuff that I believe that no one else was saying. For example, they were saying that cannabis was going to cure a bunch of diseases, that it could, that it's the best medicine, that it cures cancer. And big officials like Majestic 12, they're like, I guess you could say, they're super credible. They're confirming what I've been saying for a long time that barely anyone confirms. And
so because they're saying something you are already predisposed to believing, you trust them.
On top of making a lot of predictions and putting a lot of information that's helpful, like all the pineal gland information I got from them, how they're trying to calcify your pineal gland and how you should decalcify your pineal gland, how you can learn telepathy. They even pointed out a Twitter account that is currently managed by aliens. I think we talked about Sandia Wisdom. But anyway, I read all their tweets. Nothing ended up being wrong or inaccurate. A lot of it was stuff that I knew that very few people knew. They were able to predict the future.
What did they predict?
Well, like they said they were going to fly over on July 4th with their spaceships. And that's a crazy thing.
I missed the news about a spaceship flying over on July 4th.
Well, you can't, with alien disclosure, you can't just fly over and scare the world and the stock market collapses. It has to be subtle. That's how alien disclosure is. So they actually showed pictures of weird lights in the skies. And then Trump retweeted this like 5 times. He's like, wow, a lot of interesting people here, something like that. So it was 5 lights in the sky in a perfect line in one place and then another place. So it was an alien spaceship cloaked with invisibility, but with lights on, which provides enough evidence to prove that there was, in fact, a flying invisible craft there. That's one of the things they proved, of many.
What do you know in depth about the aliens, their own politics? Like on the aliens' planet, do they have nation states, or are they like a one world alien government per alien planet?
It's complicated. Everything you can think of exists. You have slave planets, which is what the Cabal Illuminati and the Democrats are helping them. We wanted to turn us to a slave planet. And then you have utopian planets, which is what Earth is currently becoming, a utopia, as long as we get rid of the deep state Illuminati, which is going to happen. So everything you can think of in between, all of it exists.
What do they use the slave planets for?
They treat us like cattle. They eat us, use us as sex slaves, traffic us, trade us like a commodity. You know, what the plan
so aliens
was,
are really, really into humans sexually.
And eating us, you know, drinking our blood. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why do they want to fuck humans?
90% of aliens, for what I hear, are actually genetically compatible enough with us that they could actually create babies with us. So
how would that work? Because like there's nothing on Earth that we could even do that with, and we share ancestry with things on this Earth. So how would that work with aliens?
When it comes to humanoid aliens, if their genetics are similar enough, which in many cases they are, because humans are mutts, I guess you could say, hybrids of like 100 different aliens. So we're actually very compatible with tons of different aliens out there.
Okay,
and
that's
we
convenient.
Can create babies with a bunch of them.
Yeah. What? How do you describe when you say utopia? What do you mean by utopia?
Honestly, that's where we can get into socialism a little bit. I do think that there's a lot a utopia as in there's no starvation, everyone gets some level of healthcare, basic healthcare, no one's dying on the street because they don't have healthcare or they don't have food. And then once that happens, once we really turn into a planet where no one is starving, everyone gets healthcare that they need, which some of that is socialism, which I agree with.
So why
then
is
the
Trump
aliens are gonna
so rallying? Why does Trump rally against that stuff then? Like, why is the entirety of the MAGA movement against that and demonizes the idea of socialism?
Well, there's different levels, there's different types of socialism. Like if you're Trump's against a socialism that's like Venezuela, which is I'm against. But if you're talking about a different type of socialism, a different type of monetary system where no one is a debt slave, where things aren't set up so that we're always going to be in debt and people are going to be starving, there will be a new system put into place where it won't be based on debt slavery, a new economic system in the next 2 years where it's going to lift everyone out of poverty. And when that happens, we won't need a socialism system where the government is like giving people food stamps and medicine. I don't know the specifics of it, but it will lift people out of poverty. A lot of, healthcare will be easily accessible, affordable. Maybe it'll be through on a charity basis. He's against what Venezuela is, that level of crazy socialism. But if you talk about a little bit of welfare state, a little bit of, really high quality healthcare, if Bernie Sanders, which I like and dislike, if he wants to put in a healthcare system like Canada, free healthcare, where you have to wait 3 weeks to get healthcare for a problem that you're dying of and you're going to die next week of, that's not worth high taxes.
That's a myth.
That's not worth high taxes. But if you're going to put in a high quality healthcare,
if you need emergency care, you will get it in Canada immediately. The idea that
True.
there are these long waiting lines for like emergency issues is a lie that gets pushed by right-wingers in the United States who want to stop socialized healthcare.
Well, if there's high quality healthcare, the government can
I literally have someone in chat
healthcare.
who says they're Canadian and that doesn't happen and they're laughing at you. So,
all right. Well, I've heard otherwise from other Canadians. The point is, if there's high quality healthcare that the government can give in an efficient way with little waste, I'm all for that and I am pro that. But what we've seen time and time again with Canada and all these places with free healthcare, the quality is horrible. I actually made up a new healthcare system in one of my books, Cannabis is the Panacea, where I talk about a new healthcare system based on cannabis, where it should be extremely efficient, very cheap. Everyone would get little doses of cannabis. They would be in a lot better health because of it, and then they wouldn't have to spend so much money on medical bills, and medical bankruptcy would be less common.
We're going to have a planet where everyone's a little high all the time.
Well, with CBD, which is what I'm consuming now,
it doesn't get you high. I know.
Very little high, or if the THC level is low enough, you wouldn't get high at all. Like, for example, did you know Trump legalized cannabis? Were you aware of that? In the Farm Bill, he legalized CBD hemp flowers, which
hemp. He did not federally legalize marijuana.
No, and he doesn't need to, because marijuana is cannabis that has a lot of THC, and hemp CBD flowers has low THC. You don't need high THC for healing. You just need a tiny bit in combination with CBD, and that's all you need for your medical needs. And so he legalized that. I can have 2 tons of.
Wouldn't it make more sense for him to just legalize the whole thing and direct the DEA to deschedule marijuana altogether?
You would think that, but after doing further research into it, high THC doesn't do brain damage to young people, but it does have some negative effect on their development if they consume a lot of THC at a young age. And
I don't think you should be smoking weed until you're like 24, 25, period, anyway.
There you go. He didn't want a scenario where everyone's growing it, high THC, and a bunch of little kids are doing it, and they're going to school very high, and he doesn't want that. He's supportive of medical cannabis, which is what he legalized. I can have guns and I can have 2 pounds of hemp CBD flowers all legally without a medical card, and I can have it shipped to me. Thanks to Trump. Thank you, Trump.
Okay.
Biden didn't do. Obama didn't do that. All Obama did was raided a bunch of dispensaries and attacked.
I agree.
Companies.
I disagree with the federal government's prohibition of marijuana. I think it's stupid. Yeah. I think it's destroyed tons of people's lives. We're spending a ridiculous amount of money even incarcerating people just for possession of a plant. I think it's dumb. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was very disappointed in Obama. I voted for Obama because he was, I'm going to leave the states alone, blah, 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 blah. Sure. But he didn't keep his promises, unlike Trump, which, damn, he kept a lot of promises. And he's going to keep keeping his promises. But I have a question for you. If it turns out that Biden is some evil Satanist that's working with China to destroy the United States, and Republicans and Democrats. I'm not saying like Democrats are the evil ones. There's a lot of people on both sides, Republican Democrats, who are working with foreign governments. They're doing horrible stuff like committing treason. They all go to jail, including Biden, Hillary, and then they all get executed legally. And Trump comes in, saves the world, helps put in a utopia with the help of ET technology and aliens. Will that make you happy, or will you be disappointed because your side lost?
If all that happened, and what's the timetable for this? The next 2 years? Is that what you said? 10 years?
Different things,
maybe for
different
everything.
Things are going to take. This year is about alien disclosure and putting Trump back as president.
Okay.
When it comes to the utopia, lifting people out of poverty, defeating the deep state, putting a new economic system in, that's going to happen over the next 10 or 15 years.
Okay.
I don't know the exact timeline, but
Peter,
utopia in 15 years, guaranteed. Utopia.
If all this happened, and alien disclosure happened, and alien technology finds its way to the people of Earth,
right,
and it creates a utopia, not only will I be happy, I'll fly you out to my house, and I will make you dinner, okay?
Heck yeah.
I will. We'll do a nice live stream where I go, Peter was right all along.
That's legally binding. That's legally binding. It's on video now.
Yep.
And then, wait, hold up. And you make videos saying how Peter was right and how you got a lot of stuff wrong and he sounded crazy at the time, but he was just ahead of the curve. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Okay.
So what if, so Mike Lindell recently Mike Lindell said August. That was his. And now he's saying, well, maybe September or sometime in the fall. How do you feel about the fact that this date keeps getting pushed back further and further and further? Why do you think that is?
I'm very disappointed. I'm not sure what the strategy is here. If I were to guess, I would say a little bit is fainting with the deep state.
Mm-hmm.
If you say you're going to do something a certain time and you're the good guys and you don't, it's like, I'm going to punch a deep state, and then you don't, and then they react to the punch, they mess up, and then it's basically a feint, when you pretend you're going to punch or do something good, but you don't. As for the website, Frank's speech, I'm very disappointed in that. I'm not sure if that was a feint, but I'm very disappointed I can't post there. But I think a lot of these timelines, like, oh, something will happen on this date, and it doesn't, is to trip up the deep state, because as was taught in the 17 community, there's a disinformation war, there's an information war, and there's moves and counter moves. You want to trick the enemy because they follow Q, they follow Majestic 12, and they try to say like, oh, this is the good guys' moves, all right, let's counter them. So as a result, the good guys like Majestic 12 and Q and Trump have to put out disinformation to trip up the deep state. So it's like traps, like say we're going to do something at a certain point and then nothing happens. That scrambles up or messes up the deep state plan. So as a result, I do think that at this point, I'm not totally convinced that something's going to happen in August. I hope so. It could be moved further on. But here's one other prediction I'll make. As the audit results come out, the deep state's going to try to distract everyone, which means in the next 2 to 3 months, there will be a major false flag event that is going to take over the news, so that when the audit result comes out, especially in Arizona, which is going to be August or September, it's not going to be covered. It's like, whoa, look at the false flag. It's distractions. If the forensic audit they're nothing burgers, like they don't prove anything, or they're fake, or they did it bad, then people report it and be like, hey, it's just bad. End of story. And everyone knows it's bad. End of story, except for some crazy people. But if it's true, if it's accurate, if it's real, and Trump did win by a landslide, they have to do a false flag to distract everyone. So that's something that's going to happen next 2 months.
What if the audit results come out and they're just like, yeah, we didn't find any evidence of any fraud?
I'm quitting YouTube.
You're quitting YouTube if that happens?
I'm quitting YouTube.
Okay.
For sure.
Do you have a specific, is there any date out in the future that if things don't happen by, you're just going to give up?
Yeah. My hard line is if the Biden-Harris serves their full term, then I'm just going to go back to be a Bernie bro. Trump is a liar. They're all liars. I don't trust anyone. But in 2 years, I'll have lost most of my faith. Trump did say that something has to happen this year. It's very important. That's why I believe that, and I've said that before him many times. Something's gonna happen this year. Trump's gonna come back this year. Something big's happening this year. And he after I said that, he came out and said, "Yep, something has to happen this year." Not like he watched my videos, but the fact is, because of the war, we're in the middle of World War III, and the good guys are winning so well that we barely see it. But because of World War III that we're in right now, Trump has to take back the government as quickly as possible to help save America, to save the world. And if he doesn't, if he waits till next year, that's going to create a lot of problems, and we might all be doomed.
I find it interesting that earlier this year you were claiming that Biden wasn't really in the White House. He's not the president. It's an actor. And seamlessly, you've moved on to the rhetoric that Biden is the president, but Donald Trump is going to get back in office. How do you justify the fact that you have completely changed the narrative on that?
Great question. Honestly, you have great questions, Hannah. Well, initially, after Biden was inaugurated, what ended up happening was there were a lot of disinformations that came up, like Juan O'Sullivan, Simon Parks, Charlie Ward, all these people who were insiders. Oh, Trump's contacting me. Team Trump's contacting me. And this was going to happen. And Biden's not really president. And they were all liars. And I was basing my videos off of them. And I actually apologized to my viewers. I was like, guys, I trusted liars. I didn't vet them carefully. And I was wrong. And
so if you were wrong before about your sources, how do you know that you're not wrong about your current sources?
Majestic 12 is my favorite source, and he's the one I've vetted the most. Like I said, I spent 2 to 3 years, maybe like 2.5 years, reading all his tweets, everything publicly he's ever said. I vetted him very carefully, and he's like my platinum source, my most valuable source.
So when you're vetting, are you just reading the tweets and going, "Yeah, I agree with that," and that's how you vet them?
No. It has, first of all, I have to read it. Actually, I didn't believe a lot of the stuff he said up front. But then I researched, is this correct? You know, he was saying the election was going to get stolen. They were going to do this. The coronavirus is going to, do this and this.
And where did you do this research? Where were you researching? Where were you searching?
Let me see if I can come up with an example. Well, for example, the alien thing, I looked into it. He said, we're going to fly over with our spaceships. And I was like, whoa, that's a big statement. Let's see if that's true. And then Trump is posting these pictures. I have the photo somewhere. I hope I didn't lose it, where it shows lights in the sky. And he's like, wow, a lot of people came to the July 4th thing. That's one of the things I researched. But the pineal gland decalcification, he said if you do this, it'll decalcify your pineal gland. Researched it, was accurate. He said that, they were going to steal the election, which they did. They said that, COVID is fake and that.
But again, these are all untrue things. So you're just citing reasons not to trust them.
Look, I'm not going to convince your audience, but a lot of this truth is going to come out eventually. A lot of it, I think about half of what I'm saying is going to come out as true this year. And I think you're going to believe a lot of the stuff I'm saying now. I know I can't convince your audience, but eventually credible sources, I'm not a credible source, but credible sources will come out. And Hannah's like, I know you're not credible. Credible sources will come out, credible enough, with enough evidence that even people like you will eventually believe a lot of the stuff I'm saying. So I'm okay to be the crazy person, I was saying cannabis cured cancer for a long time, 10 years, over maybe 12 years, 11 years, and everyone thought I was crazy. Now a large percentage of Americans believe it. A lot of people around the world believe it. Tens of millions of people
recognize, and even I recognize that like CBD and marijuana can be used for certain things, pain, inflammation. I'm pretty sure certain kinds of seizures can be helped with medical marijuana or CBD. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't cure everything. It just has very specific medical uses, and it requires more research.
Yeah, remember, I never say it cures everything. I specifically
said it cures all diseases.
Yeah, it's a big statement. I know. I'm one of the first people to say it. But then again, this was confirmed by Majestic 12, which is one of my credible sources. I was like, wow.
But see, that's do you understand that you're using circular logic to justify the veracity of their claims? You're saying, well, they said this that I like about CBD, so they must be legitimate, and they're legitimate because they say the things I like about CBD.
They also predicted a lot of stuff, like what was going to happen with the election, what's going to happen with the pandemic.
But that's not even a good prediction, because Trump had been already claiming that there was going to be election fraud like a year before the election because he's a big man baby who can't handle losing. I mean, he said the same thing in 2016. It's not a prediction. Mm-hmm. It's just seeing what Trump is saying and knowing the rhetoric he's going to go with.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Alzheimer's is a disease that, from what I understand, it just gets worse, progressively worse. But in my circumstances, I don't just talk the talk, I walk the talk. So when my mom got Alzheimer's and she was almost at the point where they needed to like hire someone or put her in a home to take care of, I changed her diet, fed her a bunch of hemp CBD flowers, and she hasn't been, I wouldn't say she's completely cured, but she's getting there. She's made a huge recovery. Now she's playing video games, she's reading, she's talking, socializing, a lot of stuff she didn't before. My sister, who's a nurse, since she didn't believe any of this stuff was gonna happen, she saw my mom before, saw her after, and she admitted, like, holy moly, she's totally different. She's made a huge recovery. It must have been the diet, it must have been the cannabis. But she's a nurse, so she was skeptical. She's like, cannabis can't help mom. She can't do this. So it's one of those things, like, if people are not going to believe it until they see it. For example, I didn't believe cannabis cured cancer until I found a tumor on my face, and I said, well, tumor is cancerous. Let me put cannabis oil on it.
Why? How did you determine it was a tumor?
If you do enough research into cannabis, you can tell what is a cancerous tumor.
So you looked at a thing on your face and decided it was a tumor and smoked weed or put CBD on it, and it went away.
I put cannabis oil, Rick Simpson oil on it, and I shrinked it, made it disappear.
It wasn't a tumor, Peter.
Either way, I don't have, like, scientific evidence to prove it, but
yeah, that's kind of the important thing in terms of medical claims.
Well, the thing with the science and all that is science has been corrupted to the point where most scientific studies aren't even trustworthy anymore.
Why do you think that?
Well, just look at the medical industry. If scientific studies were reliable, we'd be using cannabis. Instead, we're using
again, circular logic. You've already come to your conclusion. You've said cannabis is a panacea, and anything that says that isn't the case is wrong because you've already decided that's true. You cannot start from a premise like that. It's not falsifiable.
Look, I did a lot of research before I made that statement. I'm friends with... Do you know who Rick Simpson is? Rick Simpson oil? Does that ring a bell at all?
You mentioned him earlier, but I don't know.
He blew up the cannabis industry when it comes to concentrates. Everyone was smoking. Almost no one was making concentrates. He cured his own cancer, his own skin cancer. He went to the doctor. They said, you have skin cancer. We can't do anything for you. He went home. He heard on the radio that there was THC in cannabis that cured cancer. And he said, hell, I'm an engineer by trade. So he got the flower, extracted with alcohol, which I don't think almost anyone, if anyone, was doing at the time, applied it to his tumors. He all shrunk. And then he proceeded to cure hundreds of people of many, many different types of diseases, including cancer, just with cannabis oil. Then he went to the doctor and said, hey, guess what? I cured all this skin cancer you said was going to kill me that you couldn't treat. I cured with cannabis oil. And the reaction should have been like, holy moly, can you prove it? Give me evidence. What did his doctor say? Get the fucking hell out of my office. Get out of here. Stop saying that. And everyone wanted him out.
And this story comes from Rick himself, I would assume.
He's famous.
So he told this story, and you believe it at face value that it happened exactly like that.
I do believe him.
Why?
And he is a very trustworthy person.
Why?
He's trusted by tens of millions of people around the world.
Okay, so are a lot of people.
Look, a lot of people have come up and verified that what he's saying is true. Oh, I had diabetes, I had arthritis, I had multiple sclerosis, cancer, this disease. I ate a bunch of cannabis oil between 60 to 200 grams, hopefully organic, usually organic, over a short span of time, 3 to 6 months, and my diseases are gone, all of them. So
that happens with every sort of snake oil or faith healing program. There are always testimonials of people claiming they get better because they're excuse me, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Because there are either times then people do have sort of miraculous recoveries that just happen because things are random and very strange, and there are some people who have placebo effect.
Well, that's the thing. The placebo effect is very strong, and in many cases, if not all, there is a placebo effect happening. For example, if you believe cannabis will cure your cancer, even if it doesn't, just believing in it will make you produce endocannabinoids, which will in fact cure a little bit of your cancer.
Okay, no.
You never researched the endocannabinoid system, did you? The endocannabinoid system is our healing system. Our body produces medicine. In breast milk, there's these things called endocannabinoids, and that's what makes breast milk medicinal. When you exercise,
breast milk isn't medicinal.
It's medicinal. Right now, I'm using it, and my daughter has a little bit of an eye infection.
Did you just say right now you're using it?
I'm using breast milk to cure my daughter's eye infection. I did that with
wait. Are you putting breast milk in your daughter's eye?
Hell yeah. It worked on my other two daughters. My other two daughters had eye infections, just like my son does. Sorry, not daughter. My son does. And the doctor, pediatrician, put on this antibacterial, put on this ointment. It's dangerous, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, breast milk's medicinal. and they had bad
Okay,
infections, not like my son, but they had
Peter,
bad
you're
eye
gonna
infections.
make it
I
worse.
put
You
on,
cannot put
hold
bodily
on,
fluids in people's eyes. It's not
hold on.
going to cure them. It's going to make them worse, or at
Well,
least has the opportunity
explain
to
to
do
me
so.
why they had verified, both daughters had verified eye infections around their eye, just around their eye.
Who
We
verified
put
it? You don't
only,
take them to the doctor, Peter.
we didn't put, wait, hold on, let me finish. We didn't put any pharmaceuticals. All we did is squirt breast milk on them, and between 2 to 4 days, their eye infection was gone.
How do you
And
know it
that
was
can't
an
be
eye
placebo.
infection? You don't take them to the doctor.
Listen, it was a verified real eye infection. No
Who verified
pharmaceutical
it?
use.
You verified it?
The pediatrician, she said, this is
You
an
said
eye
you haven't
infection.
taken them to the pediatrician.
My first two daughters, I did take to the pediatrician. They did have confirmed eye infection. I had a bad experience and I stopped taking them. But when I did take them to the pediatricians, which I did initially, they had eye infections. They recommended a pharmaceutical antibiotic. I was against it. I put breast milk. It couldn't have been a placebo because they don't believe anything. They can't think. They can't talk. They don't know what we're saying. But placebo aside, because it was a placebo, both times it worked on their eye infection. It just so turns out that my son, who has another eye infection, not as bad, we're putting breast milk on it and it's
How do you
going
know he
away.
had an
So if it's not the
infection?
placebo, what is it? What is it, Hanna? If it's not the placebo, how are these eye infections going away?
They're probably just going away, and you've gotten very lucky that your child hasn't
Oh,
had to have their eye removed because you're
good
putting
one.
bodily
I'm lucky.
fluids in them.
I'm lucky. Look it up. Breast milk's very medicinal all around the world, especially in poor cultures. When people have eye infections, when babies have eye
Okay, there are
infections,
some
even
cultures
adults.
that drink urine for the same reason. That doesn't make it an actual medicine. Folk medicines aren't real necessarily.
Listen, breast milk does have medicine in it. If people research it, I'm not gonna be like, oh, this is my source. I, instead of providing sources, I say, people, do your own research. There are medicines in breast milk. It is medicinal. It's been
No, it's
used
not.
to cure.
Breast milk can be good for children because it can impart antibodies to them through the breast milk. But
Correct.
that's it. It is
No.
not a medicine.
I'm not saying it is a medicine. I says it contains medicines. I guess it could be a medicine that way, but these medicines are called endocannabinoids, the same medicines that your body produces when you produce the placebo effect. By the way, when a pharmaceutical is being tested, they test it against a placebo because the placebo effect is very powerful. So if it passes the placebo, they do it. Let's say you're a pharmaceutical company, right?
Yeah.
And you want to prove that your pharmaceutical works. What do? You test it against the placebo. Why? Well, because the placebo actually has an effect. And so in some cases, what you have is they test it on a health problem, and they'll give some people placebo, some people the pharmaceutical. And if
It actually
what they find is
depends. If
people,
it's for a medicine that already has a known medicine that does the same thing, they actually use that
listen,
medicine in place of the placebo. But if it's a brand new medicine with no counterpart, then yes, they will use a placebo.
the point is they do these studies, and what they find is that the people who are given placebos, they are healed. A lot of them are healed. And so all they have to do to get their pharmaceutical approved is somehow mess with the results, because they usually do, to make it look like their pharmaceutical had an even more powerful effect than the placebo, because the placebo
Okay,
effect
so your
is very
contention
powerful.
is that they're cheating the trials at the
Oh, hell
FDA.
yeah.
You need to have evidence to make that claim.
It's all coming out. The government is
It's all
so
coming
corrupt.
out. But that's your answer to everything. The evidence is just around the corner, which is admitting
Wait,
tacitly
I
that
know.
you have no evidence now.
Well,
You've
for
come
example,
to conclusions before the evidence, and you're just
example,
expecting the evidence.
the evidence is coming out. Things are going to take time. The first thing that the big statement that I'm going to make with election was stolen,
It
the
wasn't.
evidence is coming out right now. The forensic audit information is coming out. For example, Pennsylvania, more people voted in there were more votes in Pennsylvania than there were in eligible voters. I think 200 to 300,000 more votes than there are eligible voters.
No,
How
there
is that not
weren't.
election fraud? Maybe it was the Republicans cheating. All I know is that was election fraud, one way or another. There can't be more votes than there are eligible voters.
There
Think about it.
weren't.
There were. It's going to come out. They're doing audit in
It's gonna
Pennsylvania.
come out again. So it hasn't already. You're just making a claim.
I know this. This is a fact.
What do you mean
So,
you know this? How do you know this?
It's so obvious. If you
No,
follow-
it's not. It is not. Let me be clear. It is
to
not.
you. Not to you. If you watch if you're being programmed, brainwashed, you watch CNN. Oh, that circus
I don't
over
watch
that
CNN.
forensic.
I think the last time I watched CNN was like 2018.
Where do you get your news that you trust?
I read various sources on the internet, like the New York Times, AP. I look at One America News every now and again to see what they're doing.
Really?
all sorts of sources. The Washington Post. I don't know. I read different sources from the
Great, me
internet.
too. I respect that. I'm glad that you do. But one of those statements, which is that Biden stole the election, it's already coming out. Think about the statement that Biden made. He said he literally said on TV, there's a clip of it, that he put together the biggest voter
Voter fraud. Peter, why do you people always do this? If you watch the clip, he is talking about a voter fraud prevention team. It's a team to prevent voter fraud.
Then why didn't he say prevention? That was a slip up.
Yes, people say weird shit. You slip up all the time.
Well, look, if I'm wrong, these forensic audits, by the way, the Democrats say, oh, well, there was already an audit in Arizona. Well, the problem with that audit is they just looked around. Oh, it looks pretty secure here. They counted like 47,000 votes. Oh, it looks good.
That's how audits usually work. Is they will look at a specific number of votes against records, and then they'll determine whether or not it's a random sampling.
Yes, those are, I understand those audits. But if you bring a case to court to say that there was fraud in a election, and you bring that evidence, which is this audit, oh, we looked around, we counted a few votes, looks good to me, court, what do you think? They're going to say, sorry, that's not credible evidence. You cannot bring that to court. But if you do a forensic audit, which they're doing in Arizona, now you can actually legally use that in court, and it's credible. So that's
not how anything works.
It sure does. That's
also,
why they're doing a
why
forensic
did
audit.
Giuliani and Trump file 60-something lawsuits and lose all but one if they thought there was evidence?
They're doing that for you, Hannah. This is why. They're trying to show everyone we're going through all legal avenues, and the Supreme Court's not taking it up. Now, first they said there's election fraud with a bunch of evidence. Look at it. Supreme Court and all these corrupt judges said, no. So now they're like, all right, now we're going to get mountains
But they didn't have evidence. They didn't have any. Giuliani himself in front of a judge said this is not a fraud case.
So they're gathering mountains of evidence. They're going to present it in front of the court. Likely the court is corrupt again, even the Supreme Court, or they're being threatened.
Wow, Trump really fucked up with who he appointed then, because he appointed three of the justices.
Yeah, it's disappointing. But then again, these people could be blackmailed, threatened. Who knows what's going on? But the point is, I'm answering your question. They're gonna show everyone, look, we had mountains of evidence. We did everything legally. We brought it to the courts. We brought it to the Supreme Court. They did nothing, even though we had evidence. So then when we bring the military in, if Trump brought in the military immediately after inauguration, oh, it's a coup. He's a dictator.
It would be a coup if he did it now.
But if he proves to like 90% of Americans, including you, probably you, because you're a smart person, hey, there was fraud. He did steal. Then what's going to end up happening? Oh wait, I can't hear you.
I was saying there wasn't. I was just mouthing it. Sorry.
Okay. Well, once he proves it, and the courts don't do anything, and even people like you believe, like, oh my God, there was fraud. Trump did win. Biden did cheat. Then he brings in the military, and then there's going to be less people like you or people who don't believe.
But see, that still wouldn't be how it would work. Peter, constitutionally, if that were to happen, which it wouldn't because that's not what happened, then Congress would have to impeach Biden and remove him from office, not have a military coup. The Constitution spells out how to deal with criminality.
It depends on what the criminality is. If it's
nowhere in the Constitution is it like, and if the criminality exceeds this bar, the military can come in and take over the government. That's not how it works.
If Biden cheated with the help of foreign people and did it in a treasonous way, and he is an enemy combatant and he's considered a terrorist legally under law, then there's going to be a different circumstances.
That's not how it works. It wouldn't matter. He would still need to get put on trial in the House, or he would have to get indicted by the House and then found guilty by the Senate and then removed. And then if Harris was also involved, then she would also be removed. And then the next in the chain of oh gosh, why can't I think of the name? Chain of command.
Yeah, I think Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi. Yeah. Trump is nowhere in the chain of command. He's not in the government.
He's not, but if it turns out that they stole the election in a coup with the help of foreign actors, terrorists, there is a legal process. Don't ask me what it is. I don't know what it is yet, but I do know there is
because it doesn't exist.
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? Anyway, unfortunately, I'm enjoying my talk with you a lot. I love talking to you because you're very smart and you're a great debater. but I do only have like 15 more minutes.
Okay.
Do you want to still talk about this or
Let me
something else?
see what else I want to talk about. Okay. One of the times that actually, I'm gonna go to the chat for this. Chat, do you have any questions that you specifically would like to ask of Peter? Peter, I won't read any rude questions that are like, you know. So chat, let me know what questions you have for Peter.
Anyway, I just want to be clear to everyone. If it's not clear, I really like Hanna. I like her show. I'm not offended at all by her videos about me. I think she's actually very respectful. And I don't see why some of your followers have to be so angry at me. I like your content. I like you. And honestly, this may sound crazy, but I really appreciate how you rip apart my videos. You're one of my favorite viewers because you're a big critic of mine, and you actually help my videos get better. You make me stronger. So I have nothing against Hanna. I really do appreciate her.
Well,
so
thanks,
no reason
Peter.
to attack me. I like Hanna.
Shed a tear when the military coup murders me and hangs me in the streets.
No, you're not. You're a good person, Hanna. They're not going to do that to you. Don't worry. You're gonna.
I'm one of the good ones.
In the Utopia. You're going to join me in the Utopia. We're all going to celebrate together.
Right. Someone just asks, why so much faith? Why do you have faith in the plan?
Trust the plan? Well, I've been programmed to, just like you've been programmed to believe other things. With this whole 17 situation, they provided a ton of evidence that certain things are going to happen. They're going to take back the government from the deep state cabal, from the puppets. They're going to root corruption, drain the swamp. And they provided enough evidence that a logical person like me, who's done a lot of research, can look at all of it and say, hey, you know what? I do trust the plan. Even when Trump wasn't inaugurated, I was one of the few, if not publicly, I might have been the only political commentator that I'm aware of that after inauguration said, guys, don't worry, Trump's still going to come back. He'll still be president this year. I didn't know of anyone else who was saying that wasn't like Simon Parks, a liar, disinformation agent. So I trust it because logically, I looked at all the evidence. I did a lot of research into it. It's something I'm passionate about. And all the evidence is there. And people will find out that I can trust the plan because the plan's real and it's based on evidence. And it's all going to work out.
Field Waddell asks, where's World War III being fought right now?
Great question. Everywhere, but a lot of it's going in the United States. If you look at how the military is spread out, there's like, last time I checked, there was battleships on the East Coast and West Coast. We're in
that's
a
always
World
the case.
War
They're
situation. We're in a situation where it's I'm not sure how it is with the military, but with the Space Force and Majestic 12, they're fighting the deep state and all their cronies or evil people, and that is the World War III right now. The deep state cabal Illuminati is trying to kill billions of people, and Trump is saving the world, and he's doing it with the help of the Space Force and Majestic 12, these aliens, all this technology has time travel technology. Trump commands the Space Force. Biden has no way to control it. The way that he set up this military branch, it couldn't just be handed off. Biden has no way to contact the Space Force, control the Space Force, command the Space Force. So the Space Force, Majestic 12 are working to save the world right now from the cabal, which is, look, people think World War III, they watch a movie, it's like World War III is nuclear bombs everywhere. World War III is doing things in a way that if you're a cabal, you don't want to do a nuclear bomb World War III because all your resources you want are destroyed. What you want to do is a pandemic and vaccines to depopulate the people so that only people die. It's a different type of World War III. They're attacking biologically with weapons, pandemic, vaccines. Because then you kill the people and you take their resources and you don't have to drop nuclear bombs anywhere.
And society completely collapses because 9/10 of the people on the earth are dead and nothing can function anymore.
Yeah, the World War III is being done through information, a little bit firepower stuff behind the scenes that we're not aware about, but a lot of it is they're trying to kill billions of people right now, and Trump's saving the world, and it'll all be released in the next 2 years. You're gonna believe me, Hanna.
Sure, I will.
We're gonna become good friends, I feel.
Alamet says, how did you get into conspiracy theories? What was your first conspiracy that you believed in?
I think I was like 12 years old. My sister was like, hey, there's Illuminati and these people are evil, like George Bush and all that, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, wow. And then I looked into it. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a satanic, pedophile cult where they're like killing babies and sacrificing them Moloch and all this stuff. And it seemed like it was, in my head, I don't read something and say, oh, that's true, 100% chance. I read it and I'm like, oh, that's 60% chance it's real. Then I get more evidence. I'm like, oh, 80%. But then when, Q and Majestic 12 and Trump came out and they're like, yes, there is a deep state, there's Illuminati, there's a cabal that's doing all these things. Then I'm like, oh, it's 100% chance that this is real. So that stuff confirmed it, but it started out with believing in the Illuminati, which a lot of people on the right do believe. Deep state Illuminati, thanks to Trump.
Do aliens have exorcisms, since I guess demons also exist?
Anything you can imagine exists. Demons are real. A lot of demons are actually interdimensional aliens who are leeching off you, infecting you, trying to manipulate your mind. So I imagine there's interdimensional aliens, aka demons, who are infecting people all over the universe. And then there's religious organizations on some other planets exercising those demons out. I'm sure anything you can think of probably exists out there.
Did aliens create us or God? And I guess a bigger question, how does since you're Christian, how does the Christian God fit into this whole universe with aliens and multiple dimensions? And
that's rare, because when people believe in aliens, they go to their religion and they say, well, you didn't tell me alien exists, so you're probably lying about God. They become an atheist, blah, 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 blah. That happened to me. I was like, well, my church is not talking about aliens, so the stuff they're saying about God is real. Became an atheist. But when I went and looked at it into it further, most aliens believe in a God of sorts, not like a being up there who judges people and sends people to heaven or hell, but they believe in a all, knowing source of intelligence or something like that. And so if they believe in a form of God, then it makes sense that I would too. That's the ultimate evidence God exists, when super intelligent alien beings are like, yeah, God exists. Kind of. He's an all-knowing being, but he's not like a guy in the clouds sending people to heaven and hell. It's not like that.
Okay.
But go ahead.
What are you gonna do if none of what you're saying comes true and it all turns out to be fake, like in 2 years, 4 years, whatever?
I'll be humiliated. I'll hide under a rock, apologize first. I'll say, sorry, I was so wrong. And then I'll make videos saying, Hanna is right, follow Hanna. She was ahead of the game. I was so dumb. Because you're going to do that for me, right?
Sure.
There we go.
Someone asks, and I assume this is because you talked about the alien sex slave thing. What do alien genitals look like? Do they have, like, penises and vaginas, or do they have, like, weird alien genitals that happen to be compatible with humans?
Most aliens, I'm talking about 80%, look so identical to humans that they live among us and they breed with us. You can't even tell they're alien. For example, Elon Musk, an alien. Is he having babies with humans? Yes. Genetically compatible. Does he look like an alien? No. If you get a whole bunch of aliens...
Wait, I'm sorry, I missed that. Did you just say Elon Musk is an alien?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You think Elon Musk is an alien?
Mm-hmm. I know he is. I don't think he is. I know he is.
Why? I wish this had come up earlier in the stream. Why do you think Elon Musk is an alien?
Well, Joe Rogan was asking him, how is it you're so smart? You've accomplished so much. I mean, he's the second richest, if not the first richest. We don't know what his full wealth is because he has cryptocurrencies. But
it depends upon the value of Tesla from day to day.
And also, he has a lot of cryptocurrencies that are hiding somewhere. Dogecoin. I think he is the richest person on Earth. Joe Rogan asked him in 20 different ways.
I think Vladimir Putin's probably the richest person on Earth.
How is it you accomplished this? You're creating a electric car industry and company, and you're doing all these things in the hardest industries, and somehow you're the richest or second richest person. How did you do it? He asked him over and over again. And first, Elon Musk was subtle. He's like, well, there's probably some genetic thing going on that makes me extra smart. But in the end, he's like, Joe Rogan's like, look, just tell me, how did you accomplish everything? And he says, I'm an alien. Go watch it. He says, I'm an alien.
Yeah, he was joking. I was like, that's a joke.
That's a joke. That's a joke. But the thing with disclosure with aliens, it always happens in a joke level. So people like you who don't believe in aliens are like, that's a joke. But people like me, I'm like, was he serious? And then Majestic 12 confirmed it. He's like, yeah, Elon Musk is an alien.
I actually have someone in my chat who I've talked to multiple times about this. They worked for Tesla and they've worked with Elon Musk. They say, I worked for Elon Musk. I've met him. He's a dumb fuck. I did all the work and he just asked dumb questions the entire time. Which I've heard from other people as well.
It's easy to say someone's dumb, but the fact is, the richest person in the world couldn't be dumb.
Why?
And
capitalism doesn't necessarily reward you for being smart.
Could you be dumb? If you were dumb, hold on, Hannah. If you were dumb, how could you create the first successful electric car company?
He didn't. He sued to be put on the founders list. He didn't found that company. He became an investor
the first electric car company. He's going into creating a new internet. Many people try to create a satellite internet, a very successful one. No one's been super successful at it. He's doing that.
He hasn't been successful at Starlink yet. It's not even like a thing yet.
The thing is, he's going into the hardest industries, satellite internet, Neuralink, electric cars. and he's actually using that to become the richest person on earth. What type of intelligence do you need to have to go into some of the hardest industries, rocket science, electric cars in the world, and you're so successful at them that you become the richest person on earth? It's difficult to believe that he is dumb. Even Joe Rogan's
He's
like,
dumb.
this guy is super genius.
Joe Rogan's dumb too.
Are you smarter than Elon Musk?
Oh, I have no idea.
I think you're very smart, but come on, he's a genius. It's
Why
obvious.
do you think he's
Look
a
at his wealth.
genius?
How could you become the richest person in the world being a dummy? Come on, let's be logical here.
His parents own an emerald mine in South Africa. He started on third base. If you are born wealthy, life is easy for you. He got
True,
very
but
lucky too when he sold his company to PayPal, and that got him even more money.
Look, we can agree to disagree, but I think a lot of your viewers will agree he is very, very smart. I have
Oh,
5
they
more
won't.
minutes.
My audience hates Elon Musk just like I do, for the most part.
I'd love to chat with you again at some point
Yeah.
in the future because I do like these debates and I like you. Think you're very smart. But
Yeah.
do you have any more questions before I have to go?
How you doing, Peter? Just emotionally, you doing good with the new baby and everything? You feeling good?
I'm doing good, but I'm a little disappointed I haven't been able to create a lot of videos, and with YouTube being shut down, at my peak, I was making, I made $10,000 a month on my YouTube channel 1 month, and I was like, dang, real money in this. And now I've made like $50 this month. So I'm like, oh man. So now I'm like fixing my business up. I have to make YouTube friendly content thanks to Frank's speech not working. Damn you, Mike Lindell. And then there's a Trump social media network, not out yet either. And BitChute and Rumble's not letting me upload videos. There's like error. So now I'm stressed about that, but I'm happy to have a child. And honestly, I'm really glad I spent my time talking to you, Hannah. I enjoy talking to you because you can put up a good debate.
Thank you, Peter. I always find what you have to say very interesting.
I'm sure you do.
I look forward to your future video output, and I'm sure we'll talk again.
For sure. All right, thanks for having me on. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I'm good.
Great. Well, I like your videos, and I'm looking forward to your videos as well, Hannah.
Well,
and we have
thank
to do this more often because I think it's going to change as you start believing what I'm saying and all this stuff comes out. Like I said, election fraud. Now the audit evidence is coming out, agreeing with me. So as more evidence comes out that I'm right, it'll be interesting talking to you and see you admitting that, oh wait, Peter was right with a lot of things.
Well, we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yep. All right. And just before we go, I just want to clarify again, I like Hannah. I like her content. She's a great person. No reason to attack me on my YouTube channel. I think Hannah's great. No reason to, they're not doing death threats, but they're like really trying to ruin my comment section, attack me.
If you're
I think
going
you
to
can bounce
criticize Peter, do so in a healthy way, do so
Debate
in a
me.
non-threatening
Debate
way, do
me.
so in a
Yeah,
constructive
debate me.
way.
There you go. Thank you, Hannah. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a great day. They
right.
said, Peter, take your daughter to the doctor. Never. Unless it's life-threatening, I will never do that.
All right, Peter.
We'll leave it on that.
Enjoy your time with your family.
Thank you,
I'll
Hannah.
talk
It
to
was
you
nice talking to you. Have a good
too.
one.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my fucking god. 1 second, let me... Hold on, I'm trying to get the camera to work. There we go. Okay, so that was our second discussion with Peter. Princess Amelia asks, so is Peter too far gone now? I say yes. How about you? It's hard to tell. I don't know. Andrew Batella says, it's so interesting that Peter said, if aliens believe in God, it makes sense that I believe in it too, right? There's a lot to unpack throughout that whole conversation, honestly. Did you miss Peter? He just left, yes. I'm very concerned about those children now. I had assumptions about his lack of getting them proper medical care when necessary because, he implied it previously, but now that we have confirmation that he doesn't take his kid to the doctors, that's not good. That's not okay. New Monster, thanks for subscribing for 12 months, says, a year of fun times. Love this chat. Well, thank you. Yeah, he probably is going to cause his kids harm. Morok says, alas, didn't have a chance to ask him about my questions regarding Satanism and Trump's rolling back on LGBTQ rights. Oh well, there's always next time. Yeah. There's always so much to talk about with him, and never enough time. Why the eye infections? I don't know. I mean, kids get eye infections and ear infections and stuff more commonly than adults, but the lack of actual treatment is very concerning. So is Peter drinking breast milk? I guess I didn't actually ask him that outright, but are we on the same page that we're assuming Peter is drinking his wife's breast milk? Just Jalen says, glad to see he's in good spirits, but yikes. Alright, gonna get gussied up for the evening. Good evening, all. Thank you. I don't care if someone drinks, like, breast milk as long as it's consensual. It's interesting. 1 second, let me go check on the kitties, and then I'll be back. Okay. They're good. Sky Comet Fallen says, I got so many ear infections I had to have tubes put in my ears when I was 1.5. Yikes. Sorry to hear about that. Oh, ow. Hiccup. Hey Hanna, long-time YouTube watcher here. Nice to catch you live. Do you by any chance have any interest to cover an old German Nazi conspiracy theorist? If someone could translate his videos, his name is Axel Stoll, and he's a crazy gold mine. I mean, yeah, sure. Might be interesting to compare and contrast that kind of conspiracy with modern conspiracy. Morok says, sorry I missed it, but did you see my comment at the start of the stream about Dr. Goblin? She's gonna be so much fun. I didn't get to run gross grody characters very often. I didn't see it. I was busy setting up the stream. I'm sorry. Strumbully for Wi-Fi says, have you seen The Food That Built America on Hulu? It's the most capitalistic propaganda I've seen all year. No, I haven't. Oh, I didn't get a chance to show him my Obama 17 video.
17 to 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17.
The Poetic Fox says, what a way to jump in. I'm at work as usual while listening to you, and wow, I know. 1776. New York City. Oh, I didn't show him this either.
My poop comes out of my butthole or in there.
I want that to be my new text notification. So I'm just in public, and it's gonna ding, and it's gonna go, my poop comes out of my butthole. Hey, good news. Rudy Giuliani's law license has been suspended. Hooray. Pyromancer says, wish I had edited that better, rushed it. No, it looks good. I hope his wife's doing okay. I'm sure a home birth is rough. Let me see what we can watch. Since we're all already here. Strumbully for Wi-Fi says, my poop came out of my butthole is the best slogan on a business card for a bidet salesman. Gearthan says, I need to get the next bit bad, so this green is not doing it for me, sis. I'm sorry. Are we going over bits messages from the conversation? Yeah, we should. Hold on, there's a lot of them. Let me... This is going to take a while to go through these, but we will, and then we'll do the other stuff. Hydrate. Okay, sorry if I missed hydrates and stuff during the thing. I didn't have my chat thing popped out from it. Okay, Jody Girl, thanks for resubscribing for 6 months. Morak says, sorry to keep talking about my Pathfinder characters, but that goblin I mentioned yesterday on your stream with Jake ended up evolving from a witch to a doctor, so now I got a medieval-era goblin doctor. Fun stuff. Darth Fun, thanks for following. Pyromancer says, Discord is the devil's tool, that's why it's called Discord. Princess Amelia says, welcome to Hannah's first episode of How Do I Computer? Kierthan says, Peter, I'm so proud of you for figuring out how to join Discord. Pulp Free Fiction says, here we go, everyone. Sister Owlet, or Sinister Owlet, thank you for resubscribing for 7 months. Be very careful, John with 100 bits. Casual Snark with 100 bits. Puka the Duka with 100 says, hello, Hannah. Hello, Peter. Mistress Cambait, thanks for following. Oh, C.S. Avelios, Alex was here. Thanks for resubscribing for 2 months. Says, here for a banger. Bumble Homestead with 1,000 bits says, I got my vaccine, so I'm going on vacation this coming week. Y'all have fun. Hope you have fun too. Be very careful, John. Thanks for gifting subs. E-Tune with 100 bits. Leroy V, thanks for following. Sister Owlet, or rather Sinister Owlet, thanks for gifting some subs. Enreath says, how's the baby, Peter? Be very careful, Johnson. Hannah is my favorite Democrat, too. I did find that funny that he described me as a Democrat. I did vote for Joe Biden and Obama, but, like, I don't necessarily consider myself affiliated with the Democratic Party. Funny, though. I get it. It'd be like me calling him a Republican. Not exactly accurate, but yeah, you get it. Princess Amelia, thanks for gifting a sub. Robert Morley with 5,000 bits says, your hype train bit sugar daddy is here. Please say hello to my friend, Mistress Cambait. It's okay, she's one of us. Well, thank you. Fun Mittens, thanks for following. Sky Comet Fallen says, Peter, it can make schizophrenia and bipolar worse. That's true. Weed can exacerbate already present mental health issues. Felix Night Owl says, Hannah for president. Wing the Ultimate Nug says, Hannah, you're the president? What did you do with Joe? Logard said, I'm not sure about weed being a cure-all, but I think we should all get incredibly high as often as possible just to be sure. Sky Comet Fallen says, when I first tried weed in high school, I thought the FBI had drones watching me through the walls. Gorehound, thanks for following. Bubble Homestead says, can we put the prediction on an Excel sheet? How many dead from the vaccine? By what date? Robert Morley says, Peter talks like he's from Uranus. Netcirc 1987, thank you for subscribing for 5 months, says, in the words of Lois Griffin, oh, Peter. Hanako Sugako, thanks for following. Princess Amelia says, was SARS made up as well? Because that virus that caused COVID-19 is a further mutation of the same virus. Bardlock Moses with 100 says, Joe Rogan is trash. Pardo258, thanks for following. Profane Priestess says, would they want to kill 7 billion people, or why would they rather? Fascist Kami, thanks for following. Towing24, thanks for 14 months. Profane Priestess says, ask him to define what a utopia would look like. Rather than day, thanks for resubscribing for 2 months. Towing24 says, does he know the problem with Venezuela is being hyper-dependent on oil and not socialism, right? Nick says, mommy milkers are medical. Mike Mack says, did alien created us or God? Bellum Guardian says, Peter has changed his mind on sources he used to trust 100%. Ghost Ezra, Wano Sabin. What's stopping him from changing his mind on Majestic 12? Morak says, so Trump consistently stripped rights from LGBTQ people. Was that at the demand of the aliens? If so, does that mean LGBTQ people aren't welcome in the utopia? Blackwing Hecty says, how is Trump so bad at pretty much everything if he has a Laplace machine quantum computer? We're almost done, guys. I promise. Oh, Jake raided. I missed that. I didn't get a notification. Morgan Le Fay, or Morgan the Fay, says, my question for Peter, have you considered the possibility that anti-vaccine propaganda could be an attempt by the Russians or Chinese to weaken the health of the United States population? Ooh, that's a good strategy. Productive conspiracy theories to get him to take a vaccine. Actual Jake, thank you for raiding. Everyone, of course, I'm sure you're familiar with Actual Jake, but if not, go check him out. Ben is IRL, thanks for following. Tyranna Seahorse, thank you for resubscribing. Morok says, since this is my second question, feel free to skip it. As a Satanist, why do you think we're evil? I simply believe that Lucifer came to give us freedom from a fascist god who did nothing but demand worship and perfect obedience. Ooh, I gotta ask him that next time. Dogro, thanks for following. Mike Max says, why not the Illuminati use nukes to destroy the Earth and use satanic power to restore everything except humans and have a clone slave race? Morok says, oh, that's the Elon Musk one. Lone Honeybee, Space Ventura, Gesture RX, thanks for following. Morok says, he inherited all his wealth from an emerald mine. He bought all his power. Bardlock Moses says, fuck Musk. Me Rich, thank you for following. Nick says, titty milk eye drops are on the bingo card. Princess Amelia says, so is Peter too far gone now? Maybe. Morok says, alas, didn't have a chance to ask my questions regarding Satanism and Trump's rollback of, wait, I read that one. Sorry, now I'm getting to ones I read earlier. Lasers, mate, thanks for following. Pyromancer says, I wish I had edited that better, but rushed it. I think it looks good. Kirthan says, I need to get to the next bit badge. This green isn't doing it for me. I read that. Bardlock says, making my way to the Rainbow Bits badge. Yaboitopoi, thank you for following. Queen of the Rotten, thanks for following. Stromboli for Wi-Fi says, I passed my drug test. Time for some big old bong rips. Kirthan, with 100 bits, says, RSO oil info. That's about the Rick Simpson oil. Basically, it might make radiation more effective. Von Tuck says, I miss apparently the most fun week of Hanna Reloaded ever. Missed the return of Doyle, Trump being an alien, and coming as president. Hanna is finishing her interview with Peter. Most unfortunate. And then Princess Amelia with 100 bits says, poop. Woo! Okay, we're caught up. We're all caught up. We did it. We did it! Yay! I'm reading the RSO thing. A 2014 study on mice explained the effects of THC and CBD extracts alongside radiation therapy. The cannabis extracts appear to increase the effectiveness of radiation against the aggressive type of brain cancer. According to the study authors, these results suggest that THC and CBD may help to prepare cancer cells to respond better to radiation therapy. However, another study involving human cells found that THC actually increased the growth rate of certain lung and brain cancer cells. Yikes. So something that needs a lot more research is basically what I'm getting. Makes sense. So now what are we gonna watch? Maybe another Q guy?
Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, y'all. This is the Super Patriot Party podcast. I'm going to change the name, I think. Super Patriot Party podcast. That sounds good, you know. But hey, everybody, breaking news. Michigan is going to be doing a hand recount and doing an audit or whatever. Audit for Trump. H.A. Goodman's channel, if you don't believe me, which none of you people believe me on nothing. They think everything I'm saying is fake. But H.A. Goodman has like 200,000 subscribers. So if you don't believe me, go to H.A. Goodman's channel. That's where I heard it from. Thank you, H.A. Goodman, for this video you put out. Thank you for announcing this. I appreciate all the work you do. I'm giving credit to H.A. Goodman. Go to his channel, like him, subscribe to him, and watch him. Where you're at it, give me a like and subscribe, please. But yeah, we're winning. Patriot Party podcast fans, we are winning. This thing is going to be done with in 2 to 3 months, if not sooner. They gotta have time to count all these ballots and examine them all. So it's gonna be until middle August, like 2 more months. So give it time, give it prayer. Donald Trump won the 2020 election in my mind. That's my opinion. I'm not saying he won it. I'm saying my opinion. Hopefully, they can't get me for my opinion. I'm not reporting that he won. I'm saying my opinion is he won. But recounts are coming still. Pray for Trump. Pray for his family. Pray for our nation. And pray this heat wave goes bye quick. It's supposed to be 112 degrees where I live on Monday. Oh.
I don't care. Sir, this is a Wendy's dining room. And Pyromancer says, if we can see into your nostrils, you probably need a different camera angle.
For murdered children. And Donald Trump, too, even though most of his money's all stolen money, fiat money, for the longest time, I liked him simply because he wasn't involved in child trafficking, and then he caved about 3 months ago, and he raped and murdered a child, and then he just did it again, just recently, about 2 weeks ago.
I think this is the same guy that we watched yesterday. I had to delete that VOD for reasons. But I think we watched this guy yesterday, and I think he's the one who claimed that Obama injected his penis with a chemical that made him impotent. Yeah.
And I believe it was in Texas. I'm trying to pull this from memory. They've been using a lot of weapons on me. They inject me with 18 biological and chemical weapons, including weapons-grade anthrax. And I never really thought about it before. And I thought, well, because I don't kiss or have sex or whatever, and I don't have a partner. And I just started doing some research. And the answer was yes, that if I did have sex, I would probably transmit this weapons-grade anthrax to, my partner.
If I was dosed with weapons-grade anthrax, fucking would be the last thing on my mind. I'm just gonna put that out there. Poll watching was the reason. Yes, it was. And Bellum Guardian says the 70-year-old I word.
Sex partner or whatever. But I'm not really looking for sex. And even if I did fall in love with somebody, I couldn't have it anyway because they inject some kind of chemical into my penis, which is very painful. And the anthrax just burns. A lot of this burns like crazy. But you know what? This isn't about me. But one.
Sir, do you have gonorrhea? Bardlock Moses says, ban I words, not the I word.
More thing, a lot of people keep offering to give me money, and I just had another offer this weekend. They say, we want to help you, we know your situation, and you know what, that means more than all the money in the world. Just the desire to want to do something to help me is wonderful, but as I said many times before, I don't accept money, well, at least right now, until this is all arrested.
What did you walk into?
Me a hero, and I'm like,
the afterglow of a nightmare.
I molested my nephew. And so let's talk about that whole episode. I ended up attacking her 3-year-old son. I was 12, he was 3. Doug keeps wanting to say that, oh, you molested him. There was some of that because I was acting out, but for the most part, I beat the fuck out of him. And so...
What the fuck? I hate the internet.
Today, January 15th, 2015, a dream of liberty is made real as a new nation comes into being across Canada. A new political,
Nick says I
legal,
almost
and
screamed, "What the
spiritual
fuck," at
jurisdiction
work.
and authority that is the Republic of Canada.
I should let people know that we did a common law court case, International Common Law Court of Justice, convened, and they tried Canada and its churches and the Pope and the Queen of England and others for these crimes in residential schools.
Oh my god, this guy sounds... This is like exactly what Marcel does.
The verdict was guilty, brought in by 33 citizen jurors, and these people were sentenced to prison terms and loss of wealth and property. And these were just symbolic verdicts.
Yeah, this is like the exact same grift that Marcel Bassett does in Canada. Marcel just hasn't been caught yet. Kirthan says, do you know if it was on his Rumble, BitChute, or YouTube where Peter talked about his kid's birth condition? It was on YouTube. Let me see what video it was.
Our simply representative, because we're going to be issuing a civilian's arrest warrant.
It's this video.
We
Aliens are
notified them earlier,
experimenting
and
on my
also
family.
This comes from the International Common Law Court of Justice, which is something funny.
Hi. Good morning. How are you? I'm Constable Litchman. How are you, sir?
I'm here from the International Common Law Court of Justice. I'm wondering if you are aware that
I gave you? That's not court? Are you serious?
Take us to court, legally. She's under community protection. Your court is not is abolished because of the decision of International Common Law Court. They are watching your every move.
You and I both know there's no such thing.
Yes, there is. We'll see.
You're seriously going to say that
there?
you're seriously going to say that there's no court? Are you serious? You're gonna sit
For
there?
those who don't know what's going on, this is a group of people who are called sovereign citizens, sometimes freemen of the land in Canada or the UK, and they believe that the law doesn't apply to them, and they also think that they can, on a private basis, start their own courts and, like, court-martial or indict, like, judges and police and stuff that they don't like. It's very stupid.
There and say that stamp that's on there that I gave you, that's not court? Are you serious? Really? Okay. Okay. I see.
You don't know who you're up against.
We're connected to them. That's fine. They call us all the
The
time.
NB
That's
gender,
fine.
thank you for following.
That's fine.
They
Keep
take
it
the
up.
child, go in and challenge them.
Keep it up.
You don't know who you're up against.
We're connected to them. That's fine. They call us all the time. That's fine.
They forced us to take the child.
That's fine.
They said,
Keep
take
it
the
up.
child, go in and challenge them.
Keep it up.
Because over here, what we got is a common law court letter and a legal instrument that people can use that says that the government of Canada and the Roman Catholic, Anglican, and United Church are lawfully declared transitional criminal organizations under international law. As of September 1st, their authority, laws, property, and assets are forfeited and nullified.
You can't just do that. You can't just write on a piece of paper that you are dissolving the Catholic Church. I mean, you can write that on a piece of paper, but it'll be worth, basically, the paper that it's written on.
And this is a notice that people can get off of itccs.org and use it. So
if only the Protestants had thought of that. Martin Luther should have taken that piece of paper and instead of writing all his grievances and putting it on the church, he should have just written on that piece of paper, I hereby dissolve the Catholic Church, and put that on the door. Boom. Centuries of holy wars avoided.
So what I'm doing today is I'm deregistering my vehicles because I don't want I don't want government owning my stuff. It doesn't belong to government. It belongs to me. I've got my bill of sale that proves that I worked hard for these vehicles and that they belong to me and that they're mine. And now because that
they are yours, but you do, if you want to ride or drive them on public roads, you need to register them with the state and have insurance. Cat cleanse. Thank you. Von Tuck says, dissolve the Catholic Church and take the assets. My dar on my head, here I come. Mark81 says, found out today my 11-year-old daughter's friend is transitioning. Had a chat with her to make sure she wouldn't be crappy about it and found out she has been super supportive, helping him pick his new name and correcting people when they misgender him. Very proud of her being a good friend in person. That's great.
Canada's dissolved and we've been declared a criminal organization, I'm now ruling under a different jurisdiction. So what I've done is I've put on my car, I've put on our new flag of Canada, which is the Republic of Canada.
Princess Amelia says, I'm now issuing an official common law proclamation dissolving the United Kingdom. Turf Island is no more. Viva la Revolution.
In the Wendy's lot.
Do you suspect me of a crime?
You have no license plate.
Do you suspect me of a crime or I...
Sir, this is a Wendy's parking lot. Oh.
My baby...
You have to identify yourself under the Highway Traffic Act.
No, I do not. I just proved in court I do not have to identify myself to a police officer.
Why not?
Because I'm a freeman on the land, number one. And number two, you guys suspect me of criminal activity to detain me. So, yes, you do. I don't care what your Highway Traffic Act says, that's the law.
You have to identify yourself under the Highway Traffic Act.
Do you suspect me of a crime, sir?
No.
Am I free to go?
Offense. No, you're not.
So you're going to detain me?
If you don't identify yourself, I'm going to arrest you.
For what? I've done anything criminally wrong. But that's not a criminal act. You only have authorization to detain somebody if they've done something criminally wrong. I don't care what your Highway Traffic Act says. I have no contracts under the act. I've canceled them all, so you can't enforce it on me.
Okay, are you going to tell me your name?
No, I'm not. I don't have to. That's my right.
Okay, I'm just waiting for another unit to get
That's
here.
fine. Bring your chief too, because he knows who I am.
Okay, I will.
I know my rights.
No words on
I'm operating
flags.
under
Go
the
to
Republic of Canada. That's a legal jurisdiction here in Canada.
Vexillology jail? Is that
Canada's
I
dissolved?
thought it was vexology, but is it
Canada's dissolved. I'm also gonna hand you this paperwork.
vexillology?
Yep.
Oh, words.
So this officer is accepting the paperwork that we are a criminal organization.
Okay.
I operate under common law jurisdiction of the Republic of Canada.
Okay.
Okay.
I've never heard of it.
Well, you did today, and you should learn. You should learn that your oath to the Queen's nullified and abolished, and you guys don't have authority.
Vexillology. Vexillology.
Two other cruisers here.
I don't care.
Nick says anathema.
I'm standing for my rights, man. Plain and simple. Bring them all. Bring your whole force. I am not intimidated at all, man.
Vexillology?
I know my rights.
Let's see what Google says.
Vexillology.
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 Don't open my door.
I need you to identify yourself.
No, you don't. You have no right to open my door.
He's a sovereign citizen. He won't identify himself. So, are you going to identify yourself?
I do not have to, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Open my door. You have no right to fucking touch me. You guys have kidnapped our child. Nope, I'm leaving.
Oh, don't run from the cops. Don't run from the cops. That's a no-no.
Don't get in front of me.
Oh, yeah. He's resisting arrest, fleeing the scene. That's not good. I don't know the specific laws in Canada for that, but I'll tell you one thing. It's definitely illegal.
You're pulling your gun on me? Okay, he's pulling his gun on me. Everybody, I have not done anything criminally wrong. He's pulling his gun on me. No. No. It's off. Parking brakes on. I'm no threat. I'm no threat. They're pointing their guns at me just because I don't have the right plates on my car. That's why.
Ready to grab it.
You guys don't have this authority.
Here comes the money shot, everyone.
You're gonna break my window. Don't. I'll open my door. Don't. Ow! Asshole! What the hell?
Get out of the car now.
Okay, they just broke my glass.
You tried to run from the scene. Frankly, I do think they should have just let you open the door, assuming you were willing to do that. But they're probably really pissed off at this point, because you fucking tried to run away from them.
See that? Beautiful. Good job.
Get out of the
I'm
fucking
getting
car
out.
now.
I have nothing on me. Oh, you're gonna cut me. Don't. Oh, open the door. You're gonna cut me. You're going to cut me.
They should let him open the door.
Spoke to him like a piece of shit, mate. Simple as. No, I just told you what I said, mate, yeah? Now, we work for the International Common Law Court of Brussels, okay?
It's just someone else doing a similar thing.
Order from you. You are a good day.
Sovereign citizens, they never learn. Did Elvis go to heaven? Is the name of this video. Does this have a... No. You gotta find the ones with the reenactments. The reenactments they do are the best.
What hell has purposely kept hidden from you. It's hell's best kept secret, and I'm gonna blast it now.
Sid's gonna blast hell's secret all over us.
Now, Lori Ditto, you're up, you're happy, but in the year 2000, you were at rock bottom. How bad was it?
You know, I was so depressed. I had planned my suicide different times, and my life just didn't feel, I had hurt and
that's
pain,
a wig.
rejection inside of me, and I didn't know what to do with it. The only acceptable answer was just to try and find a way to end the pain.
And then you get a flyer in the mail
Is it a
about
wig, or
a
is it just a
conference
really
in
weird
another
hair
state,
texture?
an
No,
IHOP
that's a
conference.
wig.
Why in the world did you go there?
You know, I held on to that postcard, and it's as if it had a sense in it to draw me there. I think someone had prayed over it before it got mailed to my house, and I just knew that I had to go there.
You can
and
sense when
it
someone
changed my
prays
life.
on something.
All right, you get there, you're in the prayer room. What happened to you?
So when I got there, you know, I didn't know what to expect. People worship God in different ways, and I heard the voice of God. He asked me, "What do you want?" And I wanted to know if speaking in tongues was real. So then I got it. I love speaking in tongues.
At the conference, you started speaking?
Yeah, in the prayer room.
Did someone pray for you too?
No, I just asked the Lord, I want to know if it's real. And
but not only did you speak in tongues, you got something more.
yes,
what
yes.
happened
When I
next?
came back to the prayer room just in a few hours, because I'd left and came back, I wanted to ask God for something else. You know, I had a list of 3 things I was going to ask him for. I wanted a log cabin on Lake Superior. I wanted...
Nothing annoys me more than Christians who treat God like a genie. Like, I'm not religious, but they're like, and then I prayed for God to bring me a boyfriend and for my sports team to win, and I want a house on the lake. Like, fuck you. If there was a God, do you really think that that would be how things work? You ask for physical objects and shit, and God gives them to you? What the fuck? Sky Comet Fallen says, hell's best kept secret. Everyone is gay, and they have the best DJ in the universe. Speedy Yoshi says, lesbians like speaking in tongues. I'll take my leave now. Nick says, I'm Jesus in a bottle. And Princess Amelia says, to hell with world peace, right? Yeah. So they're praying. If they think prayer works, why aren't they praying for things that matter instead of their selfish bullshit? Morok says, when I was a Christian, I called that vending machine Christianity. Winchanter says, I'll pray to any god that can make me my persona. Good luck with that.
I wanted a four-wheel drive truck, and I wanted world peace. And I figured if I used up one of my wishes already, I'd give...
Oh my god, she's literally calling them wishes! What the fuck?
Give up world peace because somebody else should ask for that.
This lady's terrible.
And in an instant, Sid, in an instant, Jesus came and got me and took me to heaven, and it was the best.
I protest. I mean, I've never been to heaven, and all these guests go to heaven. Yeah, so you went.
I did. In an instant, I knew that the man Jesus Christ was.
I don't think this is the same actor who played creepy Jesus in the other one we watched the other day, which is unfortunate. Nick says, she wished for a lake house before world peace. What a selfish melt? I don't know what that means.
Was alive. He was standing there. He was made out of light. And he wanted me to see him for who he really is. And he turned the volume up so fantastically. I mean, it was like a dimmer switch that just was so bright. It was.
You want to tone it down, Jesus? You're kind of burning my corneas. Blackwing Hecty says, want a miracle? Show me speaking without a tongue.
As if it was stronger than you were looking in the sun and I had to close my eyes. And
British
Jesus
slang for a
turned
silly
the
person.
volume and himself down so that...
Yeah, she did call it volume. Apparently, like, luminosity is not in her vocabulary. He turned down the volume of his light. If only there was a word for that. One Speedy Yoshi says, Jesus wants to blind you so you'll believe in anything.
We could behold him. And I believe now that we can only behold him to the degree that we...
It's a little loud. Let me turn down the sound brightness.
love and obey him.
You know, you saw Jesus dancing with someone. Tell me that story.
Yes. So the Lord had me look inside him. He wanted me to give him something, and I was concerned.
Is it your feet? Because he was very interested in touching that other lady's feet earlier in the last video we watched yesterday from this. So I get the feeling that Jesus is kind of into the feet thing.
About giving him the pain. I didn't know how, and so I kept telling him no. People say you can't say no to Jesus, but we say no to Jesus all the time. And he's so patient. He turned into the...
He T-posed to show his dominance.
There's no way to explain it. It was as if I was watching a movie inside of him. And that movie was Jesus dancing with this beautiful bride. And he was doing a very specific dance with her. And while she would turn, I would notice the fire in his eyes. And he has such beautiful fire for the one that he loves. And then the darkness would try and sneak up and touch this girl's dress. And as it would sneak up, his eyes turned into this fire. You don't mess with his bride. And as she turned and danced, I ached inside. I've never been loved like that. I knew that if I could have that one thing, my life would be complete. If somebody would love me like that, not just somebody, but this God who is fantastic. And when I looked at her feet, I realized those were my ankles. I have very...
Oh my God! Is Dan Schneider a producer on this show? Because every time Jesus shows up, we're seeing someone's feet. What the fuck? Why is Jesus into feet? This whole Christianity thing is really just a scheme for Jesus to get everyone into his house in heaven. And shoes are not allowed, okay?
Pretty ankles.
You were envious of him dancing, loving her, and that was you.
It was me. It was me.
Speedy Yoshi says, Jesus wanted me to give him something. He said, I need about tree fitty. It was about that time that I noticed that Jesus was about 8 stories tall and was a crustacean from the Proterozoic era. Blackwing Hecate says, so Jesus is a misinterpretation of the name Joshua, and Christ means anointed one, so Christians are really worshiping oily Josh. That's from a meme or something. That sounds familiar.
He wanted you to give something up.
Yeah, he kept asking me for something, and eventually he put he asked me, and I realized I can trust this man. And so when I gave the pain to Jesus, he put his forehead to my forehead. I asked him, is there anything I can do for you? He said, go tell others about me. And what happened when I came out,
wear more open-toed shoes.
Part of the vision was I was set free. I used to smoke 3.5 packs of cigarettes a day. I did not need the medication that I was on, the depression medication I was on anymore.
Ooh.
And he actually changed who I am. I didn't used to be like this. I'm supercharged now.
Now, in 2008,
right.
God took you to hell.
Yeah.
And here's the sad thing. She saw some of her relatives there.
Mm-hmm.
She saw many Christians there.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's hard to believe, but you'll understand when we come back.
Oh,
I know you
no.
will.
We now return to It's Supernatural.
As soon as the heat came in the room, I watched. I opened my eyes. I knew something was happening. I opened my eyes. The front of the room opened like this, Sid, and hell was right there, and an arm without fingers came flying out of hell, and it grabbed a hold of my spirit, and it sucked me in. And those hell doors are thick, and they're heavy, and when they slammed shut, I knew exactly where I was. Immediately, 3 things were spoken over me. You are in hell eternally for unforgiveness. And the worst regret you can ever imagine was right then. Because there's no way out. I knew that there was no way out of hell.
But you're not in hell, So...
Tell me...
Blackwing Hecty says, how did it hold you without fingers? I think that's called a tentacle.
Tell our audience what you observed.
And this is how she became Ghost Rider. Rad Scorpion, thanks for following.
First, I want to say there's no way that I will ever be guilty of...
You're in hell for eternity for wearing socks. What did I tell you about the open-toed shoes, Lori?
Exaggerating hell. There are not enough...
Why would you not exaggerate?
It's worse than any words that I can come up with. When I got there, just the heat, the extreme heat started causing my skin to drip off of me. And the sound of the people screaming broke my eardrums and caused such a pain inside of me. And I knew this was going to go on eternally. And there was no way out of it. My bones, my body twisted in so many ways, breaking. I felt my back break.
Did you feel pain in hell?
Excruciating pain.
God loves all his children, though.
And there is not one drop of relief. There's not a drop of water. There's not a drop of light. You can never get to another human being to share that pain. You actually become sin. You start looking like this growth. You actually lose the formation of a human being, because I'm made in the image of God, and that changed there. It's horrific. It's horrific. I never want to go back. Imagine trying to live your life with no God. I was never going to touch my grandbaby's face again. Even arguing with my husband, not that that's cool, but you were never going to get to do any of that. You were never going to get to say you were sorry. You were never going to fix anything. To always be in pain and to know that it kept ramping up and it was going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. And it was never going to end. That was the thing. It wasn't like you could reach a pinnacle. In hell, it worked the same as in heaven. My full brain sense, and it was completely there. They were just like me. They believed Jesus is the Lord God, but they refused to obey him. They say, we love you, but the scriptures teach, if you love me, then obey me. And I wouldn't forgive. And it was the worst thing to know that in heaven, Jesus had been so patient and he was willing to forgive me everything.
That sounds like an abusive relationship. Sky Comet Fallen says, sounds boring. I've seen horror movies more interesting and scary.
And I couldn't forgive small offenses. I mean, in my life, they felt like these things had broken me. But in reality, to everything that the Lord had forgiven me of, Sid, they were small.
How did you get out of hell?
As quickly as I went into hell, these doors opened and something brought me out so fast. I re-entered the room. I was screaming. My friend who was running the meeting, he came to the back because I was so disruptive, and he started shaking me.
She certainly seems to like attention. I'm sure she's fun at parties. Pyromancer says, if God can give this warning preview to one person, then God could do it for everyone. If that was the case, everyone would believe. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
sound system.
Cute. James Comey sentenced to death by guillotine. There's some news sites. Basically, they're complete fan fiction for QAnon people that say things like Hillary Clinton went on trial and has been executed, etc. I don't know what to watch. What do you guys think? We still got time. Any requests? Has called in anything fun? No. We've seen all the Mobility Mary videos, Daddy Sume. We've watched every single one. Cute bunny. I don't know, did John Doyle release his video yet? No, he still didn't release his new video. The Karen movie trailer. Jake already looked at that, though. You guys really want to see another person look at the Karen movie trailer? Everyone's seen it by now. My reactions are funnier than Jake's? Well, thank you. That's subjective. Okay, we'll watch the stupid Karen movie trailer. I'm probably gonna have to cut this part out on YouTube. But we'll do it. Watch Dead Fantasy? I don't even know what that is. So let's check out the Karen trailer.
Guess this is a long way from East Point.
Baby, you just gotta give it a chance.
This is not an original hot take. Other people have said this, but I think it's worth noting every time this comes up that it really feels like they're trying to do a Jordan Peele movie without Jordan Peele. Like, I could see Jordan Peele doing this movie in a more subtle way that's not quite so on the nose. But this just looks bad.
Tell me about your new neighbors. They're black. Do you mind keeping it down? If you don't comply, I'll tell the manager.
Somebody's taking home security serious.
Hi, I am.
Who's Jordan Peele? Writer-director of Get Out and Us.
Karen Drexler, I'm your neighbor. You need to be taking your trash cans off the curb right when the trash is picked up.
Is she nice?
Yeah, she's nice.
Wait a minute. We have a white entitled neighbor named Karen.
Karen.
We lampshaded it, so it's fine. As long as we lampshade it and mention that we know that it's silly, then it's fine.
Okay, enjoy yourself.
There she is, slaving away in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I've come across some very suspecting teenagers.
Suspecting?
Can you please hurry up? Please, they're very aggressive, yep.
I left my wallet with my ID at home. Leave us alone, we didn't do anything!
How the heck did you end up moving to this neighborhood? Next thing you know, we have criminals. You take care of him, and I will take care of her.
Would you mind stepping out of the car?
My office has uncovered some disturbing information on her and her brother.
Of course her brother's a cop. Of course the brother's a cop. I almost guarantee... Well... Okay, what do you want to bet? How do I put this? Rotten Candy Apple, thanks for following. I'm almost afraid that they're gonna do a thing where they're gonna be like, well, this cop is bad, but the rest of the cops are okay. He's gonna have like a partner who's gonna be like, what are you doing? I guess I don't know this guy's name. Does it say on here? Whatever this guy's name is. Are you sure? Officer Dan or whatever this guy is? Mike. Looks like his name is Mike. Oh, Mike, what are you doing? And Mike's gonna be like, we do it. Whatever. He's gonna be the bad apple, is my thought. Princess Amelia says, I don't know about everyone else, but I'm getting very strong, so bad it's good vibes from this. Oh, I'm gonna watch the shit out of this movie. I'm sure it's gonna make me laugh. And I'm sure it'll even make some, like, valid points. Like, we know that there are people like this who weaponize, like, they weaponize the police against other people for stupid, dumb, petty reasons. We know this happens, but this is a premise for a horror movie. It's just like... it's a little silly. Windchanter says, Hannah, my friends still don't believe me about the Forrest Gump sequel. Have them Google it.
She doesn't like black people.
We have a search warrant.
Well, I'm black. I know, she doesn't like you either.
I want to sell the house.
What I do? You can't tell me, huh?
We are
Again, I understand what they're going for here. The casual use of the Confederate flag on the soap dispenser. It's something you just don't do unless you're like a weirdo or a racist or really, really ignorant. But like, the idea of an ominous shot of a soap dispenser is just too good.
living next door to a racist.
You went in her house? You wouldn't want your wife to know our little...
Hey Hannah, long-term watcher, I was just curious what deep lucid sleep music did to get into the Chudwatch Hall of Shame. Did I put it in a playlist accidentally? I'll fix it. Tube Man says, who needs Karen when that new Candyman movie is finally out? Hold on, let me fix that playlist right now. That happens sometimes. Because, like, when you click on a YouTube video... Oh, I need to take this off screen so you can't see all my behind-the-scenes shit. One second. I'll show you guys in a sec. Where's the Chudwatch Hall of Shame? Stream highlights. Where are my other... Oh, there we go. Whoopsie. Yeah, I use that to sleep sometimes. Okay, so... what happens is... Let me show you. If you're watching YouTube on mobile... like any random video. Here's a Peter video. If you accidentally hit this button that says save, it automatically adds whatever video you're watching to your most recent playlist that you put anything in. So sometimes if you're not paying attention and your phone is unlocked and you touch it, or if you're trying to hit something else and you're just not paying attention and you accidentally hit save, it'll put random videos that you're watching in the playlist. So, yeah, I wish they'd redesign that and kind of put the ad video to a different part so you can't just, like, bump into it randomly. It's bad design, but... you mentioned the Who Made the Potato Salad in Jake's chat yesterday. I do want to watch that. And Tube Man says, who needs Karen when that new Candyman movie is finally coming out? Yeah, hopefully that'll be good. Let's finish this Karen trailer, and then we'll do the Who Made the Potato Salad, because I guess the director of Karen did a movie called Who Made the Potato Salad with Jaleel White, a.k.a. Urkel.
Secret, right?
That was not standard police procedure back there.
What do we have here?
We got a hammer. Everything looks like nails.
You people are very angry.
Shut your mouth, boy.
Bad things happen to people that don't comply.
Well, that looks bad, but I'll watch it. It'll probably be funny. Who Made the Potato Salad? By the same director, I guess? Trailer. Truly lure.
Potato salad. Now that's my favorite right here. Who made a potato salad? This motherfucker. Oh, shit.
Why? Huh? Why, nigga? Huh? You don't walk into a fast food restaurant and ask who's on fries, do you?
What? That's not even a trailer, I don't think. I think that's just a scene from the movie. Is there not a trailer for this movie? Keyboard Turner Overdrive says, hey, have you checked out the Tuttle twins with their conservative educational books for kids? I haven't. Bardluck
Hey
says,
parents,
"What
kids
the
like
fuck?"
us have a problem, and it's one that you
Oh, we're on a hype train. Cool.
can help solve. But most parents aren't even aware the problem exists. Here's the issue. Most schools today aren't teaching young kids some really important concepts, like how the economy works, or what our rights are, or the definition of true laws.
Oh no.
Back before you were born, schools often taught the principles of a free society. But not anymore. That's why our parents have us read The Tuttle Twins.
Oh no. Pyromancer says, oh good, child exploitation. What do they mean, true laws?
These books teach children about economic and civic truths that we need to learn.
I'm guessing it's like the free market, uninhibited by any sort of government regulation, is great and never leads to any problems. Is this something Marcel commissioned? No, this looks more professional than Marcel can muster.
And there's nothing else like them in the world. Each book covers a different topic, helping us learn how the world really works. For example, these books teach kids things like how the free market is the key to prosperity.
There it is. We did it.
The history of the money we use, what our rights are and why we should protect them.
36% to level 1 of the hype train. Nick says, conservatives never think it's indoctrination if they like what children are being indoctrinated with. And Menu Frog, thanks for some bits.
How kids can be entrepreneurs. I definitely want to be my own boss someday, and these books will help.
Jesus Christ. I want to hurt others. I gotta make sure I'm at the top of the hierarchy, so I'm the exploiter and not the exploited. Bardlock Moses says, we're doomed as a planet. Probably.
Kids like us absolutely love these books. Maybe because they don't treat us like little children.
You are little children. Nick says, Hannah, you should stop this video because you might get DMCA'd by SNL. This is an SNL sketch, right?
Instead, they help us learn important ideas and develop critical thinking skills. Chances are your kids are missing out on learning these things, especially in a way that's fun and enjoyable for the whole family.
Hardlock
And
Moses,
even better, when you buy this set, you also get the awesome activity workbooks for free! Now listen, there are a lot of crazy ideas out there, and you need to prepare your kids. Yeah, if you want to raise a free thinker, you're gonna need something that teaches about freedom. So purchase your books now! But be careful, your kids will learn ideas that many adults don't even understand. It makes for some really interesting dinner conversations. Those kids are cute, but I bet yours are cuter. And imagine how much they'll enjoy the books. So what are you waiting for? Click the link and grab your set!
45 seconds left in the hype train. We're at 89%. Bardlock says, look at all those books no one reads, I bet. Oh, I'm sure kids are made to read them by their parents, unfortunately. H-Baird says, if you want to raise a free thinker, only teach your kids ideas you approve of and ridicule anyone else. Bitter Grin with 100 bits, and Princess Amelia, thanks for gifting a sub, bringing us over the level 1 of the hype train. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Talking about the books on the shelf. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Ooh, I have something. Recently, there was a sovereign citizen court thing. Let me see if I can find it. Krizia, thank you for gifting 10 subs to the community. I appreciate that. Hop the Tyrant, thanks for subscribing with Prime for 2 months. We're at 99% to level 4. I know Natalie Lawyer Chick covered it, so maybe if I go to her video, she'll have a link to the full video somewhere. If not, she plays it for a long period of times. I can probably just do that. Yeah, let's look at Natalie's channel. This is Natalie Lawyer Chick. She does some great work. She's a lawyer. She talks about sovereign citizen stuff from her, you know, from her experience as a lawyer. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits. BD Kappa, thanks for subscribing for 14 months. X Flowers for Brains X with 50 bits. E-Tune with 100 says, has Poop Girl done anything notable recently? Not really. Stromboli for Wi-Fi says, if I was just watching the Surf Times cover TERFs on Dave Rubin's show, isn't it odd to you how conservatives talk about their opinions as if they're afflictions? I don't see, at least maybe we'll see if there's a name.
Hi, my name is Natalie. Or go what's called pro se. And so he is going to be giving his own opening statement in the case. I have not seen the opening statement in its entirety.
Here he is, Ronnie O'Neill. Alright, here's his opening statement. What was he accused of? He was accused and indicted for being accused of killing his whole family in 2018. Almost his own family. Almost all of his family. He's accused of trying to kill his son, who barely survived, and he killed the rest of the family. 2 counts of murder, 1 account of attempted murder, and he chose to, represent himself, and he had to cross-examine his own son, who he attempted to murder. 27% of the level 5 hype train. Nick says, oh god, this guy, F this guy with a cactus in Minecraft. Princess Amelia, thanks for gifting a sub. 44% to level 5. Why is there no audio? What's going on?
Show that we are under.
Oh, is it in one ear? Is it in this one? Yep. Is there a copy that isn't in one channel?
Hi, I'm Pete.
Ah.
The evidence is.
I think we're just gonna have to one channel it. I apologize. He looks like his ego went Super Saiyan. Nick says, all good femboys hate mono audio.
The evidence is going to show that we are under some of the most vicious
I did see the One American News thing, yes. Princess Amelia, thanks for gifting a sub. 64% to level 5. I don't think we're going to do it. Hydrate. I missed that, sorry.
Who is the mass murderer? In Tampa Bay, the state of Florida. You will know why what occurred on March 18, 2018 occurred. And the evidence is going to show that law
The judge is even looking like, I guess I'll allow this? I don't know.
tampered with evidence to meet their such high burden of proof.
Someone says he looks guilty. I believe they found him guilty. Surprise.
Because originally, it wasn't enough. So we had to tamper with evidence.
His defense was basically he was claiming the police tampered with evidence.
Evident already, but we still had to tamper with evidence. The evidence is going to show my son did not see me murder his mom. The evidence is going to show he did not see me shoot his mom. The evidence is going to show my son said many things that are not true. The evidence is going to show that I called 911 during Kenyatta Barron's 911 call.
I think during his closing statement, he admits he killed her, by the way. Yeah, the son's 8 years old. He tried to murder the son as well, and failed. And the son testified that he killed the mom.
But all of a sudden, it ends up after I called Kenyatta, after Kenyatta Barron's call was made. Now I'm calling 911. But originally, I called 911 without even knowing she called 911 during her call. But the evidence is going to show that your representative
That's true. Yeah, the son was adopted by a detective who was working on the case.
wanted to make it seem like I'm some kind of menace to society. And I ran after killing Kenyatta Barron knowing that authority was on the way to kill my own children. I wonder why I would do something like that for no reason. And I'm standing here competent as can be, representing my
again, the crux of his defense is basically they tampered with evidence.
Anything that I may have said, they exacerbated it and made me say it consecutively over and over like a law who acted.
What about Bob says, why are we all yelling?
Which I may have said once or twice.
Jake streamed earlier today, actually, before me.
They wanted to make me seem like a terrorist. It's going to show. For some of you who don't know what that is, I would have already took a plea deal of some kind if I knew I did something like this. Because most people don't even go to trial and they know they killed somebody unjustly. The evidence is going to show you who the killers are.
Good job, cameraman. I feel that.
I'm pleading not guilty to the charges of premeditated murder, attempted murder, aggravated child abuse or battery, arson, resisting arrest.
You get it. Let's take a look at maybe his closing statement. Do we have him cross-examining his son? Because that would be... I kind of want to see that.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear?
Oh,
or
good. This one
affirm
isn't
to tell
mono.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. You can put your hand down, and we are ready to proceed. Mr. Gale?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. How you doing?
Good.
Okay. And I can hear you nice and loud, and I know we can see each other.
The child's information is, like, redacted from this, which is good.
But I just want to make sure you understand that while you're testifying, I can see you, and I can see when you nod your head and when you shake your head no. But this young lady over here is our court reporter, and she's taking down everything we say. So if I ask you a question, you're answering yes or no, you need to.
Baja, I gotta watch this. I gotta see what happens. I'm sorry. I know it's gonna be bad. This is probably gonna be very triggering. Content warning for this.
Out loud, okay? Yes or no?
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Can you tell us how old you are? When's your birthday? In a week or a couple weeks, you're going to be.
Yes.
Okay. What grade are you in?
Well, I'm gonna repeat this. So, basically, just.
I didn't say this was entertainment. This is not entertainment, Baja. This is just fucked up.
You're getting ready to start over again?
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite subject in school?
Science.
Science? What part of science do you like?
I like space.
Space?
Yes.
Okay. What do you want to do when you grow up?
Mostly like be an actor.
An actor?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Good ambition. Do you have a friend there with you on your right?
Yes.
All right, who's there with you?
Her name is Tibet.
Tibet? And what's Tibet? Is Tibet a dog?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of dog is Tibet? Do you know?
Gold.
I assume this is all just groundwork questions to get the kid comfortable answering questions to the court.
And then I saw her.
You said your father called somebody on the phone. What was he?
This is gonna be bad.
Good.
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
Do you remember talking to some attorneys that came to see you? And they said that they were there on my behalf by the name of Jennifer Spradley, Carolyn Schindler.
What's the objection?
Improper impeachment.
I'm not impeaching.
Okay.
I'm asking questions.
Well, the question on the table is if he recalls the attorneys coming to see him. He can answer that question as far as yes or no, but then we'll see what the next question is. So you can go ahead and answer that question. Do you recall that event happening?
Yes.
I really hope he doesn't yell at his kid. I'm gonna skip around and then we're gonna go watch the closing statement and probably the verdict, and we can see this guy react to getting found guilty.
Do you remember saying that to her? Do you remember telling?
Continue on.
No. Do you remember making that statement?
At least he's calm to the kid. It's still traumatizing, but Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm not gonna watch more of that. Sorry, everyone. That is bad. That's, bad. I guess here's his closing statement.
Mr. O'Neill, you need to speak audibly so that the jury
It's mono
can hear
again
what
if
you're
you
saying.
can't hear it. It's in one headphone.
He showed you a fraudulent recording where they allege that I beat Kenyatta Barron to death. He talked about Mr. Khalil Brown, my neighbor who stayed across the street. But if Mr. Khalil Brown was a help to them proving me guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, they would have called Mr. Khalil Brown. But I called Mr. Khalil Brown to be a witness for me. And I didn't ask him to lie about one thing that he saw that night. I asked.
The judge kind of rolled her eyes. I don't think you're supposed to, in your closing, imply that, I don't know how to put it. You're really not supposed to just overall say, like, the defense are fucking liars! Like, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to reiterate what you said in the evidentiary stage of the case.
Him to tell the jury exactly what he saw that night. And you have to ask yourself why that is. Because he's playing a fraudulent damn recording of me beating Kenyatta Barron 15 damn times when that did not happen. And like I told you earlier, you will know the truth, whether in this trial or the next one.
Or the next one. Yes, I'm sure he'll figure out how to file an appeal, considering he doesn't want to get a lawyer.
Better believe it. If you think I'm here to play around with y'all, God damn it, I'm not.
All right, Mr. O'Neill, please stop using swearing language. It's not appropriate in a closing argument.
Now he played a recording that was sped up. Why didn't you play the regular recording that people can understand what the call was saying?
Objection to the defendant asking me questions, Your Honor.
I'm going to sustain
I'm talking to
okay.
people.
Mr. O'Neill, listen, please just keep in mind this is not personal towards the prosecutors. Please keep your comments directed towards the evidence and the law. Thank you.
All these objections now. I know for a fact Kenyatta Barron's recording from her phone did not record calls sped up like that.
He's representing himself.
He's talking about facts, not in evidence of what he knows.
Again, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as you were instructed, the closing arguments are just that. They're not the evidence or the instruction on the law. It's just what the parties believe the evidence shows or does not show. All right? Thank you.
You heard Mr. Khalil Brown. You've been hearing me for 2 weeks now, telling you that they committed criminal acts against me with the 911 calls and that fraudulent video that they just showed y'all. Now, I'm going to prove it to you. You heard Khalil Brown. He said that he was actually sure that I only hit Kenyatta Barron 3 times. You heard it. I called him to tell you that.
That's not super relevant. He still testified that he saw you beating his mom to death. And then you shot her. Like, the crux of the case is not on whether you struck her 3 times or 10. You murdered her.
I ain't running from nothing. They didn't call Khalil Brown to tell you that. I did. And you have to ask yourself why that is. Because I want you to know the actual facts. I did kill Kenyatta Barron.
Case closed! We got him! He had this much left of the trial to go. He had like 5 more seconds of the trial to go. And he just straight up admits that he murdered her! I'm so glad so many criminals are idiots. Ugh. Let's watch that again. Confessing in your closing statement is generally considered not exactly a pro gamer move.
I did kill Kenyatta Barron.
That'll do it. I wonder how long the deliberation went for.
But I want you to tell it like it is. If you
I think look at the judge's face. I think she's also processing, like, did he just admit to the... Why did we have the trial? You should have pled guilty and you probably would have gotten a lighter sentence. Like, what are you doing?
gonna tell it.
I genuinely think she's trying not to laugh. I think she's like, did he just admit? Did we just go through a whole trial and waste everyone's time and you just admitted in front of the jury that you murdered the victim? The thing this whole trial is about? What are we doing? Pyromancer says, cue the Curb Your Enthusiasm music. Punky Gal 90, thanks for following. All right, let's hear the guilty verdict. This will probably be a little cathartic. Nick says he probably wanted to inflict more torture on his son. I don't think the son was there for the closing arguments. Princess... Oh, you just mean having him testify. I guess it's possible, but... I don't know. Princess Amelia says, probably a great anecdote for the judge. Did I tell you about the time somebody confessed to murder in their own closing statement? Yeah, no kidding.
Okay. I'd ask the clerk to please publish the verdict.
Thanks, Judge.
It's so random which ones of these are mono and which ones are stereo.
State of Florida versus Ronnie O'Neill III, case number 2018 CF.
Does the description say anything about how long the deliberation was? Let me see. The trial was 3 years in the making, but after a few hours, the jury found Ronnie O'Neill III guilty. You think they spent the first 10 minutes going like, hey, remember in the closing statement when he said he was guilty? I get it. You gotta go over the evidence, no matter what, but... Wait, the jury came back with a verdict in 1 hour, less time than you, and then you can catch an episode of Law and Order?
004019, verdict form, trial division 1. We, the jury, find as follows as the count 1 of the charge. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder as charged. The defendant did actually possess and discharge a firearm causing death. We, the jury, find as follows as account 2 of the charge. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder, premeditated murder, and felony murder. The defendant carried, displayed, used, threatened to use, or attempted to use a weapon.
This was 2 days ago.
We, the jury, find as follows. Account 3 of the charge. The defendant is guilty of attempted first-degree murder as charged. The defendant carried, displayed, used...
You're right. The deliberation was more like, what was the intention here? Is it intentional first-degree murder? Was it a... Yeah, I would imagine that was what the deliberation was.
Threatened to use or attempted to use a weapon. We, the jury, find as follows. The count 4 of the charge. The defendant is guilty of arson of a dwelling as charged. We, the jury, find as follows. The count 5 of the charge. The defendant is guilty of aggravated child abuse as charged. We, the jury, find as follows. The count 6 of the charge. The defendant is guilty of aggravated child abuse as charged. We, the jury, find as follows. The count 7 of the charge. The defendant is guilty of resisting an officer without violence as charged. So say we all dated this 21st day of June 2021.
All right, very good. Thank you, members of the jury. So now that you have found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder, that means we will be going into a penalty phase. However, I'm going to give you guys the day off tomorrow. All right? There's some things we need to do as far as to get ready for that phase of the trial, which will begin Wednesday at 9 a.m. I anticipate that we will be concluded by the end of this week, so you don't need to worry about that, but I'm going to give you guys the day off tomorrow. All right? So you can go tend to your personal affairs, do what you need to do, and then we'll see you back here Wednesday at 9 a.m. Since you are still serving as a juror in this case, however, the rules still apply. You can't talk to anyone about this case. You can't do any research about this case. You can't watch, listen to, read any news accounts related to this case. And that will be the rule until I discharge you completely as a juror. All right? So with that, I think the pizza did arrive, so I don't know if you want to grab a slice on your way out the door.
This guy's having the worst day of his life. He's going to jail for the rest of his life. The judge is like, by the way, the pizza got here, everyone. Peach Tay says, hey, this is my news station, LMAO.
But there is pizza back there.
Yay!
And we will see you all on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. All right? Thank you.
I feel like the pizza after you convict a murderer is probably the best pizza. They came to a verdict faster than the delivery. I wonder what he's gonna get sentenced to.
Another lifetime, you in this kind of penalty. Neil.
I always like the ending, the judge's like statement after verdicts. They're usually pretty good. Judges tend to be pretty well-spoken people, so it's a nice sum up of the case often.
Okay, everyone, have a seat. So, Mr. O'Neill, now that you have been found guilty of first-degree murder, we now go into penalty phase. And as you are aware, it gets no more serious for any defendant in any criminal courtroom.
Watch, they accidentally got Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
In this country than what you are facing now. I respect the fact that you chose to represent yourself, and I have to tell you, I think in another lifetime, you would have been an excellent lawyer.
Whatever. Okay.
I really think that. You speak with great passion. I understood exactly the points you were making. I knew what you were attempting to get across in your opening statement, your cross-examination of the state witnesses, the direct examination of your witness.
Weirdly, I kind of get what she's saying, because I've seen sovereign citizens trying to defend themselves and do far worse. He was ridiculous, but at the very least he kind of understood the purpose of the different sections of the trial. Stromboli for Wi-Fi says, if they found him not guilty, I would have gotten them Little Caesars, a fate worse than life in prison. And Kirthan says, I believe in Florida first-degree murder is only either life in prison or the death penalty. Yeah.
Witnesses in your closing argument. Ultimately, your arguments were not persuasive to the jury, but nonetheless, I was able to follow exactly what you were trying to accomplish. However, as we move into penalty phase, I'm really going to strongly encourage you to consider allowing counsel to now step in and represent you. This is a much more specialized and rare area of the law that very few practitioners really practice in, as far as truly understanding the aggravating factors the state has to establish. And now you would have a burden of proof with regards to the mitigators, whether they're statutory or non-statutory. You've got to come up with proof by greater weight of the evidence that the mitigators actually apply. And you would have to come up with not just applicable statutory mitigators, but any applicable non-statutory mitigators. And I'm quite confident that your standby counsel would have a much better grasp on what those potential...
Standby counsel, for those who don't know, he was representing himself pro se, meaning without a lawyer, but the state can still appoint a standby counsel. So there's been a lawyer on his side the whole time, sort of sitting on the sidelines in case... in case he basically decides, never mind, I would like a lawyer, please. Makes it more difficult for him to declare like a mistrial and try and appeal. Because theoretically, let's say there wasn't a standby lawyer, he could go and say, well, I didn't have adequate, I didn't adequately represent myself, and there's some judges who might be like, okay, we gotta do another trial. But the fact that there was a lawyer there the whole time that he could have deferred to and chose not to helps protect from him filing appeals.
Non-statutory
on those grounds specifically.
Mitigators would be. So I want you just to think about it overnight. I don't want you to make a decision right now. I want you to give it some serious consideration. All right? And we're going to reconvene at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we'll discuss it further, and you can tell me then. But I really want to strongly advise you to go ahead and let counsel represent you in the penalty phase, because the consequences are so serious.
Interesting. I'm curious what the sentence will be. Is there anything I want to watch before we call it a night? I think I saw the salt sausage, but I don't think I watched it with you guys, and it's only a minute. So how about the salt sausage?
Pointless. This is absolutely YouTube comment suggestions. This is like an instant zero. I guess this is what we would call a sausage. Let's sausage. It's totally rock solid at this point. Let's see how we did here. Well, I guess to no one's surprise, it's full of salt. We have this smushed up hot dog bun ready to go, just special for this sausage. Here we go. Well, it's extremely salty. Still not as bad as the cookout sausage. 0 out of 5. Bop 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 bop.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's see who we're gonna raid. Oh, did Theorist get a new avatar? Neat. Let's clip it a little bit, but other than that, it's cool.
Guys, I have a pretty panda. Nah. Nah.
I'm not at the dog's in.
Okay. You feeling alright?
Pyromancer says, I can't believe he turned insert gaming community into a sausage.
I'm sorry, hon. I'm sorry for giving you what I had over the weekend.
Alright. Raid time. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. I have electrolysis tomorrow
So
and a
yes,
wedding
of course
on
there's a
Saturday
fucking
I gotta
tail.
go to. Sunday will be the patron-only
There
live
is a
stream.
tail. It just isn't fully attached yet.
And then I'll definitely be back Monday. I'll try and fit another stream in there somewhere over the weekend if I can.
Can't wait for the arms to be fully
but I don't know
functional.
if I
Neither
will,
can
but
I.
I'll definitely be back Monday. So thanks,
But
everyone.
That's
Have a
going to
wonderful
take
night.
a decent chunk of money that I just do not have yet. Like,